People often ask me, what is the Good Feet store? A shoe store? I respond, we are an arch support store. Haven't you spent enough time trying different shoes and all the disposable products that are supposed to make your feet feel better? Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a gorgeous afternoon out there with lots of sunshine, but chilly. Our winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour. Our high temperatures only in the mid-50s. It's a cold night. We have a freeze watch in effect. Our overnight lows will be in the low to mid-30s, and with the wind chill, it'll feel like upper 20s to low 30s. It stays chilly tomorrow, too. We'll see sunny skies, but highs only in the low 50s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 543 points to 43,951.
Aho shot! He scores! It leaks through Fedotov. And Sebastian Aho right on cue. Drops it. Orlov shot deflected. They score! The captain out in front. Jordan Stahl, the big man, deflects it home. Now Konechny streaks in, and what a save. Kochetkov flashing the leather, and he'll hang on. With a steal into the Flyers zone. Out in front, they'll score! What a play. Aho to Roslovic, and Roslovic's 10th of the year.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Thursday to you. It is a full Thursday. No matter what you're into, NFL, college football, NHL, a little bit of college basketball going on.
Got it all for you.
It's a good Thursday. I'm Tim Donnelly, that voice you just heard. Dennis Cox, he's producing the show. Tonight is a big game for the Canes. Tonight is a big game for the Canes, which means we can learn something. We can find something out. I'm looking for the Stars to perform, which is more likely today than maybe another day because Aho's getting hot. And despite all of that, I actually think last night's Canes game, kind of boring. Not a bad thing. Kind of boring, though. We talked about it yesterday. They're
just a ho-hum 4-1 win?
Oh, like... Are you making fun of me, or are you
No,
agreeing
I'm
with
being
me?
serious.
It was a ho-hum 4-1 win.
4-1 win.
There were long stretches of play where the Flyers weren't even getting shots off. Like, actually, let me go ahead and find the tweet just to start off the show with research. Walt Ruff at one point in time, the team reporter for the Canes, who, by the way, live tweets most, if not all games, unless he has like a family wedding or something like that. But he was tweeting about it, and at one point in time, he just went like, I know the game's not over because here it is. As we inch closer and closer to the final horn, which was my interpretation of, I know it's not over yet, but he said, as we inch closer and closer to the final horn, it's worth taking a second to reflect on Carolina's defensive game over the final 40 minutes. With 5:59 remaining on the clock, the group has allowed just 7 shots since the start of the second period. That's a period and 3/4 of a period. They went 6 or 7 shots allowed. That is a ho-hum 4-1 victory. That's what it is. Were there highlights? Yes. Sebastian Aho with an even-strength goal, which was very nice, unassisted. He set up Roslovic for a wildly skilled goal at the end, which felt like, did you really have to? Probably not, but if you could, why not?
Why not?
It was a ho-hum 4-1 victory, which is a massive compliment to that team. The fact that you can have a ho-hum 4-1 victory is a massive compliment. Aho is bouncing back. I have a outside-the-box suggestion for the Carolina Hurricanes because Aho obviously is a core member. He's going to be around for a long time. I think you need to play him in every preseason game, big minutes, and give him like 10 hard scrimmages prior to the season because, maybe it's the like I'm a prisoner of the moment thing, but we've done some research on it because Aho started scoring on a little bit of a scoring lull. It seems like most seasons takes him 15 to 20 games to kind of get up to where he's looking for his own shot and producing kind of in a selfish way. He can set up teammates because he can do that in his sleep, but it does seem like right about this time of year he's starting to crank it up, and then of course the last 3 games he's been starting to crank it up, and he gets the 5-on-5 goal we've all been looking for, and he's starting to look like the Aho we expected. So if it's just going to take him 20 games, I think you just gotta play him in every preseason game, play him in like 10, 12. Really hard scrimmages. Go send him to the AHL. I don't care. If you can start him with like game 17 of the regular season, he'll be a 100-point score, which does open up another level of ceiling for the Canes. The Canes have been really good, right? Part of the reason why I'm jokingly calling them boring and calling a 4-1 win ho-hum, even though we all know in professional sports every win is difficult and you celebrate every win, and there truly is nothing as a ho-hum any victory. But the reason why I'm joking and I'm playing it that way is because they've been consistently good this year. They've been monotone, right? It's the same note over and over, but it's a good note. Right, where they've had their small blips, their bumps on the road, whatever you want to call it, but they've overcome adversity with ease. They've stayed bought in, and they've always gotten back to a relatively high standard of hockey. Now imagine if you have everything I just described, which includes Martin Necas on a heater, which includes a defensive system that we know is proven and has guys still getting used to it, which includes Jack Roslovic and Jordan Martinook scoring at levels higher than we expected, which includes all of that, and then you add on top of it Sebastian Aho playing 30% better than he's been playing. That takes you to another level. That takes the entire team to a whole other level because of games like tonight at the New Jersey Devils. Right? We've been tracking this, right? Dennis, 1 out of 10. 1 to 10, I guess would be the way to put it.
Okay.
How big of a game is this one? And I'll give you the cliff notes, because I know you know them, but somebody might not. It's a road game at the New Jersey Devils, division rival and a division contender, right? If they get 2 points and the Canes get 0 tonight, they are tied in total points. It is the second half of a back-to-back, so legs will be a little tired. Brett Pesce and Dougie Hamilton are top 3 in ice time for the Devils, so there's a bit of history there with some Devils.
Don't forget about Stefan Nason.
Don't forget about how could I? That's on me. Hand up. My bad. Stefan Nason, crowd favorite when he was here. I'm assuming crowd favorite now that he's there. So go ahead and say 1 out of 10. How big of a game is this?
I'm going to put an 8 on this one.
I agree.
I think it's a solid 8, divisional game on the road, like you said. and you're still trying to hold that top spot in the Metropolitan Division, yeah, it's a solid 8. Two really good teams playing against each other. Solid 8.
And if you wanted to talk me into like an 8.5, I'd be here for the conversation. Like I think it's more 8+ than it is, rounding up from a 7-6. This is a big game. And I've been one of my beliefs, and I think most people would agree with me, but I don't pretend like it's unanimous. One of my beliefs is the bigger the game, the more you need your stars to play great. Right? It's why the postseason, the history of playoff games is often written by the stars. There might be the one random role player on fire game, but for the most part, if you're going to win a series, if you're going to win multiple series, your stars are going to have to play well, because in big games, it just happens that way. In big games, it often comes down to the guys that sell the most jerseys. Sebastian Aho would be one of those guys. If he's playing better, the games like tonight are the ones where you're going to notice. What if they outscored their last 3 opponents 12-2?
Yeah.
Those games, no disrespect. You might not even need Aho, right? It's like, I'm going to let my little homies take care of you. And then you go set up, Jack Jury to get, punched again. The guy takes a lot of hits. You can go set up, Jackson Blake to score some highlight goals. But against the Devils, I don't know if you want the rookie to be the guy setting the tone. I don't know if you want Eric Robinson to be the guy setting the tone. I think you want it to be Aho, Svech, the stars. And that'll serve you well for the postseason. Sebastian Aho talked after the game about how important it is to be able to play consistent.
I feel like we've been playing, a pretty similar way for a long time, and not just this season. And I feel like now we have, guys maybe in a bigger role, so we're kind of taking that step to carry the team. Netchi, for example, he's been, a really good player for us the whole year. So it's just kind of keep building what we have here, and I do believe that it's we got to be consistent throughout the year.
That's the words of Sebastian Aho after the game. The word coming out, a little bit of news from earlier today. The news coming out from Eric Tulsky, the GM, that Frederik Andersen, the opening day starter in goal, surgery on his knee. He will be out 8 to 12 weeks. He's already been out for a handful of weeks already.
Yeah, he's been out for about 4 weeks already.
So you're looking at a 3+ month absence, 3 to 4 absence in total for Frederik Andersen. I wish I was surprised. I'm getting real nostalgic about this show recently.
Oh yeah.
When I took over this show, it was a year and a half ago, and you might follow the league, you might watch the team, but you don't follow it like you do when you're covering a team. So I started asking around people in the know, and right, okay, tell me the real deal on so-and-so. Okay, how good is so-and-so really? And every time I came to Frederik Andersen, there was a range of responses, but they all ended the same way. Some people, he is solid. Oh, he's a good player. Oh, yeah, he's a really nice guy. Some would say multiple-time All-Star. Really good dude. Him and Ronto were a nice little pairing not too long ago. Mm-hmm. There was that, but almost everyone I talked to, whatever they said, I like him, I hate him, I love him, he's the best, he's the worst, he's too tall to play goalie, whatever they would say, it almost always ended with, if he can stay healthy. Oh, he's a great player if he can stay healthy. Oh, when he's out there, he's a multiple-time All-Star if he can stay healthy. He and Ronto really locked up the league when he was healthy. All he's done since then is get hurt kind of often and get older. You're not going to get out on the other side of that, surprising me when he gets hurt. Because 2 years ago, everybody was already throwing the, if he can get healthy, if he can stay healthy. I don't think there's even much debate now. He's a good goalie, solid. If he can stay healthy. Right now, he is not, and won't be for at least a couple months. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll talk more about the options for the Canes moving forward later in the show, but they've got some decisions to make if they want to achieve their potential. As I said, it's The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, there's a football game tonight, NC State, Georgia Tech. I'm just going to say it. I'm judging NC State tonight. I'll tell you what I'm judging them on coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody's bent out of shape about Cooper Flagg turning the ball over twice at the end of the game. He had 26 points, 12 rebounds, and was the best player on the court. Yeah, he turned it over. Kentucky played really well at the end of the game and also at the beginning of the second half. That was the difference. Otherwise, if Duke makes 30% of their threes, they win that game by 10 points. I was impressed by the Blue Devils. I think they're going to get better and better all year.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's Silverado time at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Get a 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 LTZ for 0% APR for 48 months with up to $67.50 in savings and no payments until 2025. Savings include a Costco and Wilkinson discount and $22.50 trade assistance on a 2010 or newer model. See dealer for details. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
The most incredible sale of the year is on right now at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and designer jewelry. It's our biggest store-wide sale of the year. This weekend only, shop never-before-seen pieces, plus designers' appearances in the store. Save an extra 20% on Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Plus, the biggest selection of the year starting this Friday through Sunday. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
99.9 The Fan, Carolina Ale House, and me, Victoria Vodnecker, want to get you to a Canes game. Join me Thursday night at the Carolina Ale House in Cary from 7 to 9. Show up and sign up for a shot to grab a pair of tickets to the Canes Islanders game. I will guarantee 15 people will be able to take a friend to the game once the night is done. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. You only win when you come hang out with me. Set the reminder, Carolina Ale House in Cary, Thursday night with me and 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle's sports leader.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get a head start on Black Friday all month long with exclusive deals. Right now, get 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees just in time for the holidays. And get a free select tool when you buy a select battery or combo kit. So don't wait to save. Shop these deals in-store or online now because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/21 through 11/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Bailey pump fakes once, now tucks, swerves to the near side, still can throw, lobs it, end zone, touchdown, Jolie! It's a 9-yarder as Bailey drifts to the right and throws a dart to Justin Jolie.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Thursday night ACC football for one of the teams in the Triangle, the NC State Wolfpack at Georgia Tech. Tonight, I am judging NC State based on how they play tonight. That's what's happening. Sometimes it's kind of nice to just admit, like, by the way, I'm judging you. You ever do that one when you ask a question? I could see Dennis, getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
Hanging out, doing the whole, like, where are you from? What do you... And then eventually it's like, have you seen Star Wars? By the way, I'm judging you on your answer. Just, like, take your time, right? Think about it because your answer is going to help inform how I think we'll get along.
Answer wisely.
For me, it might be something a little more sports nerdy. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, I like it. What do you do? All right, yeah, we could hang out. By the way, who's your favorite player off the 2001 76ers? Just keep in mind I'm judging you.
Latrell Sprewell.
Ooh, not a Sixer.
I know.
That would get a negative judge.
I know it would.
If you threw Allen Iverson, I'd go, all right, you're kind of surface level. If you go Speedy Claxton, you're more my type of person. Aaron McKee, we can talk. Mutombo, you're a little new.
I was going to throw out a random name for you.
Tyrone Hill, there's no random names on that team. Todd McCullough, Matt Geiger, there's no random, none at all. George Lynch, shout out UNC. My point is, sometimes it's nice to just be up front with it. So like NC State, how are you going to play today against Georgia Tech? Hey, by the way, I'm judging your answer. And it's not just winning. I'm not sitting here saying this is some kind of must win, although I will pay attention to the score. I'm judging them based on how they play. I'm judging effort. I'm judging body language. I'm judging, does it look like you want to be there? Because the resetting of expectations has down, right? It's started with college football playoff, then it was compete for ACC championship, then it was maybe win 8 games, then it was the bowl eligibility is where you are now. How have you maintained your program's focus? Dave Dorn, the head coach, spoke to the media on how important it is to become bowl eligible.
Yeah, I think it matters a lot from a legacy standpoint for the senior class. They don't want to be the ones that didn't get it done here recently. And developmentally, you've heard me talk about how important practices are to young guys and our ability to assess what they need to work on going into the winter program. So they have a window of time to improve before spring ball. It's really telling when you get into these practices what guys are good at, and for us, it helps us, kind of shape them. So, hey, here's what we need to see in 7 weeks, and we start playing ball again. So, yeah, you would love to have that opportunity, and obviously we got 2 tough matchups here back-to-back, and we need to get at least one of them, and we'd love to finish with 2 wins here in the regular season.
Now I know Dave Doran and most coaches, outside of a select few, don't love media, but I'm going to need roughly 15,000 times more energy from the team tonight than from Dave Dorn in that answer right there. Oh, you got to play well, and you get extra 7 weeks. No, I need somebody with their hair on fire. That's what I'm judging. Yes, I don't want to downplay I want the play caller to call a great play, scheme a player open. I want the player to execute. That's awesome. But when you cross the end zone, when you get into the end zone, when you cross the goal line, does it feel like you are wildly, wildly happy and proud and the work has paid off in a way that ended up in the end zone? Or does it feel like you scored and went, finally? Because that's different. Go back and watch. There was a short touchdown catch from Casey Concepcion, right at one of the low points of NC State's season. It was on the right side, like a 2-yard catch or whatever it was. He caught it, and you would have thought he just walked into the DMV and saw a long line. It was the end zone in a college football game for an ACC preseason all-ACC player. Now, at that point in the season, okay, young player, frustrating year, not getting the ball as much as he wanted, probably had dreams of being the Politnikov Award winner, so I get it. The emotions get away with you. Coming out of a bye week where the coaching staff, the leaders, the veterans should have had extra time to make sure every single player's head is in the right place, I can't accept that this week. Against Georgia Tech, who, by the way, Georgia Tech will test you, right? They will physically challenge you. So you know what to expect. You know what you're walking into. It's, I've been thinking a lot about Tyson fights just because the Mike Tyson fight just happened, if you call it that. The exhibition where Mike Tyson and one of the Paul brothers walked around the ring together for a while. But because of that, old Tyson fights have been on my my Instagram feed and my Twitter feed a lot. X feed, whatever you want to call it. So I've been watching these, and it was unbelievable when Tyson was in his prime, how many fighters fell for the exact same thing. First 30 seconds of the fight, the same duck, the same foot replacement to the left, the same right hook, right to the dome, knocked out. And what you start to realize is no one was surprised by what was coming. They just didn't have the ability nor the plan to stop it. Now, I am far from saying Georgia Tech is Mike Tyson, but what I am saying is their predictability is Mike Tyson-like. All right, the quality, I mean, prime Mike Tyson in the ring is a different beast, but NC State should know what to expect, which means you should have a good plan for it. And you should be able to get your team, your players, to sell out to execute that plan. It's actually kind of funny if you watch it. And Dennis, you can probably chime into this as someone that's coached college sports before. It seems like the more losses you pile up, the more and more you become like a very, very animated youth coach.
I get what you're saying.
When things are going well, your creativity is on, your innovation is switched on. You're thinking of, we've been doing this well, so the defense is going to do this to stop us, so then we can counter their counter with this, and you turn into like a mad scientist. But when things are going poorly, you're just looking at your players going, listen, if you're going to make a mistake, make it going 110 miles an hour, right? Like I want to, if you get a penalty for a late hit, I don't condone it, but it would make me feel good if you're running and hitting somebody. Like you just become more and more of an animated Pop Warner coach. Nothing dirty, but play as hard as you possibly can. With every loss State has suffered, it does seem like they're getting closer. Like at the beginning of the year, it was, let's see how many different ways Robert and I can scheme open KC Concepcion. Let's see the distribution from Grayson McCall. Remember him? From Grayson McCall getting the ball to all of these different points in the offense. The defense. Oh, boy, Tony Gibson may not have the talent he had last year, but I want to see the creativity and scheme he uses to cover up deficiencies on the defense. We were excited about innovation. Then there's a loss and another loss. Then they get absolutely smacked. Then there's a loss. And all of a sudden now I'm judging you on your effort. Run the ball downhill once or twice for me, offensive line. Open up a hole. Let Hollywood Smothers get going. C.J. Bailey, hunt for completions. I don't care if you throw 20 completions for 100 yards. Get them completed after being below 50% last week. Some drops contributed to that, not putting it all on the young quarterback. I'm judging NC State tonight. The question is, does this game matter to you? And just so you know, I'm judging your answer.
Yeah, I always felt as a coach, if you're struggling at this point of the season, this late in the year, there's the notion out there, I say notion, but there's always that mindset of, hey, when things are going great, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all in when things are going great. It's okay, now when you have a setback, or you're like, I'm going to check out. I'm like, well, then guess what? I don't want to play with you. I don't want to play for you. I don't want to play alongside you, if that's how you're going to be, because I'm still in this.
Yep.
And that's really where you get tested as a player and as a coach. I've seen coaches check out. Like, believe it or not, I've seen it. I've seen coaches be like, well, whatever this, like they don't game plan as hard, they don't whatever it might be. I'm like, well, what are you doing here then? I've played for those coaches before. I'm like, I literally one time challenged my coach, like, what are we doing?
To just stay in the cliche world, it's the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer person. Thermostat and a thermometer person.
Mm-hmm.
A thermometer goes, all right, the players are checking out. Why am I going to put in all this effort as a coach, right?
Yeah.
Some of these guys don't want to be here. We're not very good. I'm going to sleep in today. A thermostat is like, no. If you lower, I'm bringing it back up. I'm the one getting you back bought in. So that's basically what I'm judging. It doesn't have to be coach, right? It could be a veteran. It could be a freshman refusing to let the temperature in the room go down regardless of what's happening. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of thermometers, speaking of thermostats, thermostats. This is an unbelievable transition here, because how often are you talking about thermostats in regular conversation? But of course, that's exactly what I'm doing right now, talking about thermostats. Now going to Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation, and Window Nation is bringing back its incredible Black Friday offer. Get 50% off all window styles. This includes bays, bows, double hung, sliders, single hung, picture windows, and more. And why is this so exciting? Well, your thermostat, right? When you set the temperature warmer in the winter to heat up your house, You don't want that air escaping through the windows and raising your energy bill. Same is true when we get a random really hot day here in North Carolina at this point in the year. They still exist. Crank that AC up a little bit. You don't want that air escaping out through poorly insulated windows. Window Nation has the best of the materials, the best of installation, the best results on all tests when it comes to keeping the air inside. So it's, again, as I mentioned, Black Friday sale, 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 full years, and through the end of the month, an additional 10% discount for Black Friday. Heating costs are going up again this winter, up to 23%. If you don't have Window Nation windows, a lot of your money is literally going out the window. So hurry up. Sale ends December 1st. Act now before this offer ends. Visit windownation.com to get 50% off all window styles plus 0 interest for 5 full years and an additional 10% off as part of their Black Friday special. Schedule fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION. That's a fast in-home estimate to be scheduled right now if you want to make the call, which you should. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. You can schedule there as well. windownation.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have a thesis statement on saving money. Nice little idea there. How colleges should focus on saving rather than spending. Next.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending in Cary. Now that the Fed has finally begun their path of rate cuts, trying to decide when to finance becomes very challenging. Do I lock now? Do I wait? At Miller Lending, we offer a solution to the question of timing with our popular no closing cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates free of charge and refinance any time rates fall. Having done our first no-cost loan all the way back in 1987, we've now funded over $10 billion in no-cost mortgages, saving our customers thousands of dollars in needless fees. Lately, we've seen a trend of even higher closing costs as borrowers chase rates, only to see them drop considerably 4 months later. So whether you're purchasing a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, why not call Miller Lending and say goodbye to closing costs forever? 919-447-3377 or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
The Black Friday sales event is happening right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and the savings are huge. Get $13,000 off any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn, or take advantage of 0% for 72 months on a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, Chrysler Pacifica 4xe, Dodge Hornet RT, or a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Awesome choices and savings, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. We have Thursday night football action in store. Build a quick same-game parlay. How about George Pickens, 75 receiving yards for Pittsburgh? Jerome Ford, a hard 50 rushing yards for the Cleveland Browns. And maybe Russ Wilson, 200-plus passing yards for the Steelers. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul and make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21-plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Is this Sierra?
Missy Elliott.
I think that's Sierra, no?
Yeah, it is Sierra.
And Missy Elliott? Okay.
Yeah, Missy Elliott, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying no, it's Missy. I was like, I know what Missy Elliott sounds like. This is, we will be talking about Sierra's husband in a few seconds here. He's playing tonight, Russell Wilson on the Steelers. But this is actually appropriate because this goes back to like when I was in school, that song. It is time for the Thesis Statement. There it is, the opening bell. Oh, and there it is once again. Bell system's been a little off at school the last couple of days.
Yeah, the holidays coming up. That's generally what you're going to get.
Thesis statement is simple for today. College football programs should save their NIL money until they have their quarterback situation settled for the future. Until you have your quarterback, I think you're wasting your money. And in big old chunks of cash being given out, you're wasting your money. An underrated part of the NIL era, which, I mean, it's not a huge sample size, but it's been going on now for a few seasons. An underrated part of the NIL era, I believe, is saving money. You don't always have to be $100 in, $100 out when it comes to your collective, when it comes to your fundraisers, when it comes to your boosters. There should be more time when a collective, a deep pockets booster, somebody goes to the coach and says, who do I need to go get? And the coach says, all right, we'll take whatever money you're willing to spend now, put it into a interest savings account so you can grow it a little bit and save it for next year because it wouldn't do us as much good this season. Now, I have to admit, Dennis, as much as you will not like this, I'm stealing part of this thesis, part of this theory. I'm plagiarizing it from a South Carolina Gamecocks fan on Twitter. It's not my proudest moment, okay? Let's just call it what it is. But it's inspired by the South Carolina quarterback, Lenora Sellers, who, if you've watched recently, just a massive human who's playing very, very well for them. He's like 250 pounds, but not like tubby, like a well put together 250 pounds. And he's playing very well, running, throwing, doing a little bit of everything. And basically what the South Carolina fans said was, now that we have Lenora Sellers is when we should have spent all that money that we spent 2 years ago. And I thought about it, and I went, that's actually genius. It's actually genius if you save your money to go all in when you know you have the basic structure. It's poker is what it is. It's poker. And I'm not talking about the good kind of poker where, like, you know, Phil Hellmuth and Phil Ivey and other Phils are looking at each other and reading tells and doing math. I'm talking about the poker that somebody that understands the game but isn't a professional plays, which is you got to be patient. Check, check, fold, check, fold, until you get the cards. Right? Until all right, looking at this, look, ace, king suited. Now I'm going to try to get as much money out of the hand as possible. Obviously, you could bluff and all that. I'm probably simplifying it. But the point is, you don't want to have wasted all your money on 7-2 offsuit because you just wanted to be in the game. You just wanted to be in the hand. So you don't have any money to bet when you get pocket aces. South Carolina, if they spent, you know, $400,000 on a left tackle and $600,000 on a receiver and another $100,000 on a middle linebacker 2 years ago when they didn't have a quarterback, I hate to say this, from a winning perspective, it didn't matter. If you don't have a quarterback in the SEC, you're not going to win games. So then I kick it forward, right? And I look at a school like NC State. NC State, I don't have any official insight. Like, I haven't seen the checks, but I assume they spent more NIL money this past offseason than they've spent in any other offseason.
Feels that way.
They brought in a wide receiver from Ohio State. They brought in a wide receiver from Wake Forest. They brought in a running back from, I think it was Oklahoma. They brought in a running back from Duke. They brought in an offensive lineman from Notre Dame. They brought in all of a quarterback from Coastal who was top 5 transfer quarterback. They brought in all of these guys, which I assume each came with some type of price tag. But the problem was their quarterback was unsettled. Grayson McCall didn't live up to expectations at the beginning, and then it was turned over to C.J. Bailey, who is wildly impressive, beacon of hope, but I don't think a freshman quarterback is ready to go, like, win the ACC and make a college football playoff game when being put in the situation that he was put in. So how much do you think NC State would love to have all the money they spent last offseason this offseason, now that they feel like C.J. Bailey is entrenched? Now that they feel like they have a dude and he'll have a full offseason and he'll have film to watch and he'll be excited and everyone will be excited to play with him. And oh, by the way, how much do you think they would love to have that money to help keep C.J. Bailey around? The money you spent this past year didn't really hit. Not saying the players aren't good. I think Noah Rogers is very good. Hollywood Smothers looks like a very good pick. Justin Jolie, the tight end from UConn, stud. I'm not saying that Zeke. Oh my gosh, what's his? The center. Why am I? There it is, Corral. I want to call him Collier. That's not his name. Zeke Corral from Notre Dame. Some of the advanced analytics really like the way he's playing. It's hard to judge offensive line as an individual, but some of the advanced analytics very much like the way he's playing. They're good players, but you're fighting for bowl eligibility at the end of the year because your quarterback was unsettled. If college sports keep getting closer and closer to pro sports, and the structure keeps getting closer and closer to pro sports, colleges should look to learn from pro sports. And guess what happens in pro sports, specifically pro football? Unless you are a team like the Chiefs, which have this little core that's just going to be around forever and they're going to win a bunch, you find your moment and you go all in. And you kick salary cap hits into the future. Think of it like this. Think of it like the Rams Super Bowl, where the Rams started trading away every pick to get players, right? They traded away 2 first-rounders. What was it for Jalen Ramsey? 2 first-rounders for Matthew Stafford. A second-rounder midseason for Von Miller. They kicked money into the future, right? Everybody gets a new contract, and it's all going to be against next year's cap because they saw a window that they could win, and they went all in. In college football, the window that you can win is when you have an elite quarterback with eligibility that wants to return. The one caveat I'll add is I do think you should always find a way to pay the players to stay. right? If I don't think the money spent on Omarion Hampton at UNC to get him to stay in Chapel Hill was bad money spent because they didn't have their quarterback situation locked and loaded. I think Casey Concepcion, same thing. You pay the guys that have developed under you to stay if that's what it takes to get them to stay. I just don't like going into the transfer portal and spending a bunch of money on the luxuries until you know you have something that's going to take advantage of it. It's, make sure you have somebody that knows how to grill before you go buy the Wagyu. Or else you're just going to get an overdone steak that costs you a bunch of money. If you're, and in this case, the chef would be the quarterback. Saving money. How about that? Saving money. It's what you're taught when you're a kid, right? Save it. Take your Christmas money. Save it. Put it in a bank account. Save it. Save it. Save it. Well, now I'm looking at college football coaches going, save it. NIL Collective, save it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the thesis statement. We're actually going to follow it up. A little extra credit. Little stick with me after class, says the professor.
A little after school?
Because yesterday we talked about the future of college sports. We talked about Bubba Cunningham, who wrote, for lack of a better term, a manifesto. He is the athletic director for UNC. You can go check it out on goheels.com. A whole bunch of stuff about the future of the sport. Future of sports in college, not just the sport. But one of the things that is obviously going to drive everything in the future of college sports is the future of college football, because there's money there, because there's conference rivalries there, because everybody wants to make sure they're being connected, they're being picked by the cool kids in college football. Jim Phillips is the ACC commissioner. He spoke to the media today about the college football playoff and the teams that are being ranked highly or not being ranked highly, teams that are in the projections to make the 12-team expanded playoff, teams that aren't expected to. And I have to give Jim Phillips a little bit of credit here. Not a lot, but a little bit, and you'll see why in a second. Here's Jim Phillips on Miami being ranked too low.
Very honestly, I was disappointed. I was disappointed that Miami was 8th. I just think they're a top 6 team, and I don't understand how they get leaped by another Power 4 team that played an FCS game last weekend, and Miami was off.
That's real. Make the argument. Jim Phillips doesn't do that enough. Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, that guy's out there like passing out pins that say SEC rules. And then if you flip it over on the other side, it says like ACC stinks. Like they're out there on some partisan arguing stuff. Jim Phillips oftentimes is just, we're healthy and we're looking towards the future. No, come out swinging. Defend your squad. Do you know what was the loudest thing that happened last year? It was deafening. It was actually silence. It was Jim Phillips after Florida State didn't make the college football playoff after being an undefeated ACC champion, when he should have been buying billboards in every SEC and Big Ten market of his face and like just expletives all around it. He was wildly quiet. Wild, like too
Double
quiet.
birds.
Yes. Just call into Feinbaum so it's like Jim in North Carolina. And then once you get on air, let them know who you are. Do whatever it takes to raise a stink because your teams, your conference members were being disrespected, and you are the enforcer. You're the one. That's what I need to hear from you. Because A, you're the commissioner. B, it means more coming from a suit. It just, like, we can make all the signs for game day and jump up and down behind Pat McAfee as he makes some kid kick field goals for $200,000 that says, like, ACC's being disrespected. Nobody's going to take that seriously. However, if a commissioner puts out a video or takes an interview where they say point blank, no hesitation, we're getting messed over here, it's not fair, that's going to carry more weight.
And drop a couple.
Yeah.
While you're doing it. Because people are like, oh, okay. He's serious.
I know I reference sports movies too much, but it's Denzel Washington when he thinks his team's getting cheated in Remember the Titans. Let the boys play, cheater. Like, get out there and use some names. There's nothing gained by you being the prim and proper one. Well, like, we don't do that because we're men of the Atlantic Coast Conference. There's nothing gained by that. Jim Phillips continued talking about SMU and Clemson and where they're ranked.
They were just okay offensively the first 2 games at Nevada, then home against BYU. But they've been letter perfect. And so to be 13th, I just think they're inside the top 12. And finally, Clemson. I think Clemson's a top 15 team. They're one of, I think it's 10 or 11 FBS teams that is undefeated on the road, amongst other things. So at the end of the day, we still have 2 weeks left to play. I made those comments known to the committee members that are watching the ACC. And so, listen, we have to win. And all of this is a moot point about where our ranking is and whether we're in with multiple teams or not.
I like the idea. There's no way he should be saying Clemson is one of 10 or 11. He should walk in there with stats to back it up. Have them written down in front of you if you need it, but say it with your chest. Right? If Clemson is one of 10 teams that are undefeated on the road, you better say there's not 10 other teams in the country that can say they win as often, they win as dominantly as Clemson does on the road. You need to come out there, like, cut a promo. Then, as you know, my promos always sound like kind of half Hulk Hogan, half Macho Man Randy Savage. It needs to be like, you listen here, brother. When Clemson comes to your house, they're leaving with a win. And I know that because they're one of 10 teams that are undefeated on the road. Then go into, like, you, me, Madison Square Garden, college football playoff round 1. Oh, yeah. Like, Jim Phillips needs to be that. As I said, there's nothing gained by being polite in this situation. If others were treating the ACC with politeness, sure. If it was some kind of mutual respect, go ahead. But if they're throwing rocks and you're throwing pillows, you're not going to win the game. Like, who in their right mind? He's talking about SMU. Can you play just the first, 5 seconds of that clip again? It is Jim Phillips talking about SMU right at the start.
They were just okay offensively the first 2 games at Nevada, then home against BYU. But they've been letter perfect.
Go ahead and stop.
So
why in the heck are you naming exact instances of them not being good offensively and then just saying, other games they played well?
So he was talking about last year, the quarterback situation with Florida State was the reason why they were held out. And he said, well, SMU made a quarterback change, and they've been great since. Like, they made a quarterback change. That's the reason why their offense has been letter perfect, because they made a QB change. It's like, you can't sit there and hold Florida State, hold it against them at their quarterback's out when one of our teams has gotten better when they actually did make a change at QB.
That's a good argument. I'm not debating the validity of what he is trying to say there. I'm saying good arguments don't work. Louder, angrier, more dramatic works. SMU, sure, the first 2 games they weren't as good. No, just say from the beginning of the season, they've been a better football team than Notre Dame. Notre Dame is 6, SMU is 13, and it doesn't make a darn bit of sense. Not well last year. It's a good argument. And if I were on the committee, I actually think those types of arguments would work best because I'm like to say I'm a fan of logic and reason. But it's obvious that's not what's going on here. It's obvious that what they call the eye test, what I call is public opinion, is driving quite a bit of the way these rankings are falling. Just do the same thing you're doing with the same idea and the same intention, but with 35% more world wrestling villain. Just 35% more heel.
Go full Jake the Snake Roberts on this one.
Sure. Go, just don't worry about being likable. Worry about them fearing you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Quickly here, Russ Wilson, tonight, Thursday Night Football, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns. That's what does Mike Tomlin call it? Life in the kitchen in the North Division.
Mm-hmm.
Gets hot. You know what Russell Wilson's proven? And I've been in this debate too many times. Russell Wilson is proving that regardless of how much good argument or how much logic you try to use, wins and losses will always be a quarterback stat. I don't think it should be, because you look at Joe Burrow right now and you tell me he's not playing great football, but he's not an MVP candidate. Why? Because his team's 4-7. And quarterbacks, win losses, it's quarterback stat. I looked it up today. There aren't many stats that show Russell Wilson is playing better than Justin Fields played with the Steelers. They have almost identical passer ratings, similar interception and touchdown totals. Fields is actually completing a significantly higher percentage of passes. Russ does it with a bunch more volume. He throws it more often and he throws it downfield. But Fields is a 100 times better rushing threat than Russell at this point in his career. So it's really similar. But Russell Wilson is 4-0 since taking over, and the world attributes that to him. Because quarterbacks, win-losses get attached to those guys.
All those field goals that were kicked against Baltimore on Sunday.
All
those turnovers the defense caused on Sunday. Yeah, let's give it all to the QB.
It's true.
It's funny, the other Wilson, Peyton Wilson, made the best play for them on Sunday, not Russell Wilson.
Best play all year. That was a superhero play. No position impacts winning more than quarterback. I want that to be clear. But also, it's not always the best indicator of quarterback play. Who was the Panthers guy? Last name Allen.
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen went 5-0, right?
Yeah, had a strong stretch.
Not 5-0 play from the quarterback. It was 5-0 play from the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Same can be true. And Russell is playing well, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure he's playing better than Justin Fields was. But the world is going to attribute Russell Wilson to playing great football because his team hasn't lost since he took over the starting quarterback spot. Not saying Justin Fields was losing a bunch. He was 4-2, but now they're 8-2, and Russell's getting a bunch of the credit. Proving that no matter how often or how logical an argument is made, if you win a game, the quarterback's getting the credit. If you lose a game, the quarterback's getting the blame, regardless of who it should actually fall to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. In that case, the Panthers are playing the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend, and the Chiefs will likely be massive favorites at kickoff. But Bryce Young will be blamed or given the credit for the loss or the upset. We talk Panthers football at 4, coming up after this. Pack Therapy is in session thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Get your dream Honda during Happy Honda Days with a CR-V Hybrid, Accord Hybrid, Civic Hybrid, or the all-electric Prologue. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic Hybrid, a 3.9% APR on a 2025 CR-V Hybrid, and a 0.9% APR on a 2024 Prologue.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type
Do I choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. The Fed has dropped rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6% or you are in process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock in a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000. Lower rates and lower fees. Get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Loan Pronto, call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
'Tis the season for family and friends. 'Tis the season for gifting. And 'tis the season for making holiday dreams come true. 'Tis the season for using the old-timey contraction 'tis. And 'tis the time of year for holiday scratch-offs. With over $85 million in total prizes, 'tis the best gift of all.
'Tis the season to gift endless joy with holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.06 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Pack family knows Sammy's Tap and Grill is your one-stop shop for brews and bites, serving up good times for almost 25 years. Sammy's has over 40 beers on tap, so you're guaranteed to find your perfect pint. And house-made food that's touchdown-worthy. For the game, Sammy's got you covered with over 60 TVs. Plus, you can bring your own mascot. Sammy's is pet-friendly. Come find your people at Sammy's Tap and Grill on Avon Ferry near campus. Great beer, delicious food, TVs galore, furry friends welcome. Visit Sammy'sTapGrill.com for daily specials and beer list.
The most incredible sale of the year is on right now at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and designer jewelry. It's our biggest store-wide sale of the year. This weekend only, shop never-before-seen pieces, plus designers' appearances in the store. Save an extra 20% on Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off this Friday through Sunday for the best selection, quality, and price. Shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a chilly afternoon out there, breezy, winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour, a high of 56, but feeling more like 40s with that wind chill. A cold night tonight. We drop down into the low to mid 30s for the first time this season. We have a freeze watch that's in effect. Wind chill tomorrow morning in the low 30s. Tomorrow afternoon's chilly too, a high of just 52 under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 461 points to 43,870. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Thursday. We have Football at 4 coming up, but I do want to remind you, tonight at the Carolina Ale House, Victoria Vodenecker, who you hear at the Adam Gold Show every day right here on 99.9 The Fan, prior to this show. Victoria will be out at the Carolina Ale House from 7 to 9 p.m. for a Canes ticket stop where you can win a pair of tickets every 8 minutes. Every 8 minutes, they'll be giving away a new pair of tickets to see the Islanders and the Canes on December 17th at the Lenovo Center. So head on out to the Carolina Ale House, hang out, enjoy some food, enjoy some drink, be merry, win big. You must be present to claim your prize. So plan on being there until either you win a pair of tickets, at least, or until 7 to 9 finishes up, so 9 o'clock. And then stay and keep watching games and everything else.
Yeah, watch the third period.
Watch the third period, watch the fourth quarter, you can watch it all at a place like Carolina Ale House. Hockey game on one, college football on another, NFL football on another. It's kind of the beauty of going to a Carolina Ale House. Now, speaking of football, let's talk a little football. The Panthers, as they imagined themselves coming out of the bye week. We talked about this yesterday. They're getting healthier. One would think that means they're getting better. Their young guys are getting older. One would think that means they're getting better. The young player takeover is continuing. The Panthers have kind of a tough decision, and Panther fans, to a lesser extent, have a similar tough decision. Dan Morgan and the Carolina Panthers have to decide whether they want to win or not. Kind of crazy to say out loud. They have to decide whether they want. What means more to you? What means more to you? Changing the culture and teaching these young guys to scrap and claw and fight and find ways to win and showing them that they can do that, or having a higher draft pick? Both legitimate arguments. I've heard smart people make the decision on both sides. So don't scoff. And to a lesser extent, Panther fans have to decide what you're cheering for. Are you going to be really happy when they win, if they win? Or are you going to be a little bummed out? Because I'll tell you right now, I've been a fan of teams where the thing I want to have happen is have them be up 14 in the fourth quarter and lose that game on flukes. I want the ball to bounce off the ref's head and get caught for a touchdown so I can go, well, that doesn't really count. But they win the game, so we keep the draft pick. I want it to be obviously that you're the better team on the field. But hey, I'm interested in the number one overall pick. Like, let's not get crazy. The reason why I think they have to ask this question seriously is because of a revelation I had yesterday in our cubicles. So Dennis, you were back after a week away.
Yeah.
We were catching up on our Panthers talk, as you do when you work in sports media. And we just started looking at the rest of the schedule. What do they have remaining? And kind of reevaluating, doing the thing you do at the beginning of the season where you bring the schedule out and you write a W or an L or a question mark next to every game. And then you're like, all right, I think we're going to win 14 games, right? You're so optimistic at the beginning of the year. And we just started going like, all right, that's a winnable game. All right, I bet you they win one of those two. All right, I bet you they could win that one. Now that so-and-so is on IR, that one becomes winnable. And the more and more we counted, the more and more we talked it out, the number of possible wins got surprisingly high, especially when you consider they already have 3 in the bank. You look at it and you go, well, okay, Dallas without Dak is not scaring anybody.
They stink.
They could win that one. Tampa, although they have Baker playing well early in the year, I mean, they've lost kind of a bunch in a row here.
Mike Evans has been out.
Although he's back practicing, said today he's going to play. But still, 1 out of 2, you play them twice. Could you win 1 out of 2?
Yeah.
All right, I see that. You look at could you sneak an Atlanta win? Atlanta's been getting smacked around by some bad teams. That's possible. All of a sudden you start counting, you're like, there's 3 or 4 potential wins here. And if you surprise somebody, if you catch – Tampa on 2 bad days and you win them both. If you catch the Eagles on a day where Jalen Hurts forgets how to protect the football. If you I don't know, shock the world this week against the Chiefs. 4 or 5? Sounds ridiculous. Like bold-faced on the surface, there's 0% chance in my brain that the Panthers are going to win 7 games. But you look at it and you're like, that's only 4 more from here, and I see 4 winnable games. And then I went, I don't even think you'd want to do that. 4, if you win 3 games from this point on, you finish with 6 games. It's probably the difference between picking 4th and picking 10th or 11th. It might be the difference between picking 2nd or 3rd and picking 10th. That's a big deal in draft capital. So I've as I often do, try to A, have my own opinion, but B, help you reach yours regardless of whatever that opinion is. Like, you don't have to agree with me. I just hope that you've thought about it. So I have some questions here to help us all make our decisions. And I've framed them as if I'm asking Dan Morgan. Because I don't believe you tank with coaches. I believe you tank with front office. I don't believe you tank with coaches and players. I believe you tank at the front office level. You cut guys. You change up the depth chart kind of so you get more young players out there. And then you tell those young players to do everything they can to win, and you just kind of make it so the talent isn't there to win. So I'm asking Dan Morgan this. Are you in on Bryce Young for next year? Let's start basic. Are you in on Bryce Young as your quarterback for next year? If the answer to that question is yes, go win games. Win as many as you can. Win 3, win 4, win 8 if you can. I don't even know, you 7 left. Win them all. Because you don't need to have the resources to make the big move this offseason. So the 9th pick, you can get an edge rusher at 9. You can get a corner at 9. Maybe not your number 1 pick, but a pretty good one. What about no? Are you in on Bryce Young? If the answer is no, I respond with another question. Do you think, in your heart of hearts, as a GM, as a talent evaluator, you can realistically solve quarterback without high draft capital? Even if you don't want to draft a guy in the top 3, can you get your quarterback without using that as a trade chip, without building value from it? If you think you can, if you have a legitimate plan, if you're higher on Daniel Jones than everybody else, and he's the 4th quarterback with the Giants now, and you think you can get him on the cheap, and he can come in and be your starter and change everything, whatever your plan is, if you don't need that high draft capital, then go win games. Tell Dave Canales, full throttle. Give the ball to Chuba Hubbard 40 times if that's what it takes to win a game. Go teach your guys how to win. But if the answer is no, if you're not in on Bryce Young and you don't have a plan to get a quarterback on the cheap this offseason, if you need high draft capital to solve quarterback, you better tell Chuba Hubbard that he's being shut down for the year. You better call up DJ Wanham and say, hey, man, we're really trying to stop the run today, so don't pin your ears back and get all those quarterback pressures. You better do something. If you need your quarterback, and the only way you think you can pay for it is with a top 5, top 3, top whatever pick, gosh darn it, you better go get that top 3, top 5, top whatever pick. It's similar to the conversation we had earlier about college football. So much of what you want to do lies on the other side of having the right quarterback. So much of what you want to do is just right on the other side of the mountain known as Mount Find a Quarterback. So if you think it's Bryce, you're good, go win. If you think it's not Bryce, you got to start answering real questions. I'll put it this way. I don't think it's Bryce. I like Bryce. He's impressed me with his mental fortitude this year. His ability to stay locked in despite everything going on, that is a admirable trait. I believe if they're going to be a contender, somebody else will be calling the shots at quarterback. So I'm probably leaning towards if you win 7 games, it's going to feel really good, but it's going to slow your rebuild. 3, 4, maybe 5, we can talk. But if you win 4 more from here on out, if you win 3 and you're still gunning, I'm gonna be confused. Thinking about the future. And by the way, as a competitor, I absolutely hate that. As a player, if I were on that team and I had any inclination that was going to happen, I would be bummed. I would understand it's a business and it's not my decision, but I would be bummed.
Yeah, if I'm a player, I don't care about your draft pick.
100%.
I don't care about, like, you pick 12 or pick 7. I don't care. I'm out here to perform and win games. I'm here to take care of myself.
Yep.
Because if you in the front office try and start tanking, you're impacting my life in a negative way. Therefore, I don't like that. That's a bad precedent you want to set in the locker room.
The multiple anonymous Giants have been upset about Daniel Jones getting benched. It's obviously a money decision.
Yeah.
I still think it's the right decision. Because if you are on the hook for $30 million next year, which is what you would be if Daniel Jones got hurt for him at quarterback, you can't really turn the page and go find someone else, and now you're stuck in that situation again. So the return argument that I would give towards those anonymous Giants is, if you don't want us to make business decisions, stay mathematically eligible for the playoffs beyond Week 11. If you don't want us to tank, win games before we have to make that decision, right? No one would be saying, do the Panthers really want to win if they had 6 wins already? And I'm not asking them to be 9-1. I'm asking them to be 6-5.
And I'll look at the front office and say, you guys signed that deal. Don't put that on us. You signed that deal with the injury guarantee. Like, you signed that. You agreed to that. You offered that. You put that on the table. That's on you, not on me.
So you're saying them benching Daniel Jones is upsetting the players, and then the players are saying it's your fault that you signed Daniel Jones?
Well, yeah, well, let's say, like, look, if you're making that decision because of, well, we don't want to guarantee this guy a bunch of money, I'm like, well, that's on you for putting that in the contract. That's not on us as players.
Well, yeah.
That's on you for putting it in. I understand that your business, but if I'm a player in the locker room, I want to win. If I'm Dave Canales, and the whole thing about this season for me was establishing the culture that you wanted to do, winning is part of that. And you have to teach these guys, doesn't matter what your record is, you got to go out there and work week after week after week. I don't care if this team picks 13th or 7th. Like, you can still find a great player in that situation. 13 or 7, you can still find a great player.
That's simplifying the draft a little too much, because you're much more likely to find a great player at 7 than
13.
But
you know what? We've seen this team draft terribly in the top of the draft before. We've seen this team do that plenty of times in recent history.
We've seen the Panthers go guns blazing to win every game all the way to the end and then be just as bad the next year. So we've seen them draft high and it's not worked out. We've seen them go all out to win games and it didn't change anything the following year. So you can't just eliminate the Panthers from doing anything that hasn't worked in the past, or else they're going to do nothing.
Well, I know they tried to do that a couple of years ago when Steve Wilkes took over, but then you completely changed coaches. So guess what? You had to completely reset your whole culture and everything, and then you gave up a bunch of draft capital, all that stuff from a previous regime. You know that Dave Canales is going to be your head coach next year. You have to continue to build what he is trying to do, and it starts in the locker room with the guys that you have right now. You have to try and win games. And if I'm a fan as well, seeing 7 years of losing, I want wins. I don't care, hook or by crook. I want to see W's in the win column. That's what I want to see.
I think that's where we're different, and there's nothing wrong with being different. I don't see a ton of difference in my fan happiness between 3 wins and 8 wins.
I want wins.
I see a difference in my fan happiness between playing games that actually matter when it gets cold outside. These games, they don't actually matter when it comes to playoffs and when it comes to championships. That's what
I think these
for.
games matter for the next several years, about establishing your culture.
I agree. I also think the players that are playing in those games next year and their talent level matters as well.
Yeah, but if I got Xavier Legette, Robert Hunt, Jalen Coker, Chuba Hubbard, guys that I know are going to be on this team for the next several years, I don't want them to be around tanking. I don't want them around.
Players never tank.
I don't want them to be around knowing that the franchise is trying to do that. I don't want them around.
I also wouldn't disrespect those guys to think, hey, if we only win one more game from the rest of this point, they're going to show up next year, having forgotten how to win. You're talking about some guys that are, they've been around competitive sports for a long time.
Oh, I know, but this is about a culture you're trying to set.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have to get to our ladder challenge. Dennis, did you win?
Yeah, I did.
So you're up to 4x times his money and then some. If you want to start tailing Dennis's picks now, you're a little late. But before we get to that, Capital Financial Advisory Group. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Coach Pete has been revolutionizing the retirement planning game for decades. Coach Pete, the head man over there at Capital Financial. He's been revolutionizing the retirement plan with use of his GPI index. He can help you maximize consistent growth with your retirement plan while also protecting your money from year to year and building what he calls an income switch, like a light switch, for you to flip on when you need to and want to. With the help of Coach Pete's financial fill-up, you will receive guaranteed income for life. I'm just going to say that again because it sounds good. You will receive guaranteed income for life. And even in the face of challenges like long-term care or losing a spouse, you will still receive that check. Call or text today for your very own GPI index score. That is that revolutionary index that we were talking about. You can see how that valuable tool can work for you now and along your journey through retirement. Call right now, and Coach Pete will do this all at no cost. If you tell him I sent you, you'll get that GPI index free of charge. If you say I heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. The number to call is 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Or you can text Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. Either of those gets you to the same place. Text Tim to 600-700. We'll take a break. When we come back, Dennis keeps the hot streak alive, hopefully, with our ladder challenge.
Move your sports day forward.
Come on, Coach. I know it's tough. Just squeezed out that. Yeah, he's doing it for us. He is the giant, non-disposable straw that is stirring the drink, because you do not want Marty Necas melting down like a cardboard straw in a milkshake.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
You've seen the postings all over that neighborhood app. People's packages are going missing from their porches this holiday season, but not yours, because you have a home security system from SoundStation and Security. From doorbell cameras to whole home security systems, SoundStation and Security has the largest inventory on the East Coast. And if you're looking for a gift this holiday season but don't really know what to get, we sell gift certificates too. SoundStation and Security, with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Week 12, it's here. And FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, wants you to have some fun with it. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet hits. The Steelers are in Cleveland. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. What could go wrong? We actually could have a great football game. Build yourself a parlay, pick an anytime touchdown scorer, have some fun. Just go to FanDuel.com/AdamGold and make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get a head start on Black Friday all month long with exclusive deals. Right now, get 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees just in time for the holidays. And get a free select tool when you buy a select battery or combo kit. So don't wait to save. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/21 through 11/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Ladder challenge time. You know what? I'm not happy that Dennis is on a hot streak, but I am kind of enjoying it as a spectator, right? As a competitor, I'm kind of furious, and I'm trying to make up ground. But as a gambler, it truly, like, this ladder challenge was set up on the show with the hope that we could make good on the premise, which is you find a likely to hit bet once a day, every day, meaning minus 500 to minus 1,000 odds, which, the implied odds or implied percentages would be you're going to win it 83 to 91% of the time. And if you just get it right every single day and roll over your winnings every single day, you can really make some good money. Dennis started with $10 like we always do. He is now up over 40.
It was up to $44.80.
44. So he has almost 4.5 times his money. And if he can keep this up for another 9 or 10 days to the end of the month, he'll cash out.
Yeah. If I win today, I'll be over $50.
But the way the game works, you're just gonna have to keep rolling it over
I know.
until the end.
Keep rolling
it
over.
It could be like over hundreds by the time you get all the way to the end. With that being said, actually, no, you have to start because I never get to lead off.
Did you
anymore.
win yesterday?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
What was your bet again?
I had the Canes plus 1.5.
Oh, yeah, that's
Philly.
right. That's right. You had Canes.
That's a nice smooth hit.
That was easy.
Yeah, that one. And actually, shout out to whoever sent it on Twitter. I was watching the game, and I wasn't thinking about my ladder challenge. And I think when they went up 3-1, they just tweeted at me, plus 1.5 looks pretty good. And I was like, oh, yeah, ladder challenge. Let's go. So anyway, we both hit last night. I forget what your bet was, but at this point, it's probably a shots on goal bet, and they probably had 5 when you needed 2.
It was William Nylander, Toronto Maple Leafs. I needed him to have 2 shots on goal, and he had those both in the first period. So
there you go.
That's it.
So what are you going with today? As always, the leader leads off.
So I'm going to go right back into the shots on goal category. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning playing the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus Blue Jackets aren't that great. I'm going back to my guy, Nikita Kucherov, 2+ shots on goal, minus 700. So $44.80 on that would win me $51.20.
51. I hope you lose, but it's impressive.
It's fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, when is this going to end?
I have rolled over $13.70.
Okay, there you go.
And if this bet wins, I will have $16.33.
Okay.
I'm catching up. Probably not.
Are we just going to run this basically until the day before Thanksgiving, because we're not going to have shows?
Yeah, so whenever the last show is of the month.
So yeah, that's Wednesday next week.
Less than a month. Shoosh. My bet is for today over 26.5 points in Thursday Night Football. Talking Browns Steelers. 26.5 total. I've teased it all the way down.
So a 14-13 game gets you.
I'm going to read you what it says in my notes because I got a little wordy. It's almost like a script. I don't care how these points get scored as long as they get scored. Jameis Winston could throw 4 touchdowns. We've seen him do it. He could throw 4 pick sixes. Definitely possible. George Pickens could catch 2 touchdowns. He could also throw a tantrum in the middle of a play, get a 50-yard penalty, and set up the Browns to score. It's Thursday Night Football at its finest. It's divisional rivalries at its finest, and we have Jameis Winston in the middle of it. 26.5 points, taking the over. I don't care how it gets there. Punt returns, fakes, catches where we'll say like Jerry Jeudy catches it, then he fumbles, the defense picks it up, they fumble, and Nick Chubb recovers it in the end zone. I don't care how it happens. I think it's going to be a crazy game. I think the over is going to hit. That's our ladder challenge.
You'd probably be like 2 pick sixes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. And a couple moon shots from Russell Wilson, and boom, we got our 26. All it takes, not much. Najee Harris could score 4. There's a lot of different ways to get there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the ladder challenge. Hopefully, we will be talking about a couple of winners tomorrow, and we'll keep it rolling. It's cons and cons time. Let's go ahead and jump into that.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
Cons and cons. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about when it comes to the Carolina Panthers? As always, I have good news and bad news. Which would you like first? You always take the bad news. I'll go with concerns. My concern is not just Bryce Young. Bryce Young versus the Chiefs. That Chiefs defense is as vaunted as they are for a reason. They have some very good players. It's not impossible to ever catch an advantage against them. Those defenses just don't exist in the NFL anymore. The rule changes have been so unbelievably pro offense that everybody's vulnerable a little bit on defense. But make no mistake about it, the Chiefs' offense hasn't been great this year, yet they're still 9-1, and that's largely because of what Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, and Chris Jones and that unit has been able to do. So for Bryce Young, it's almost like continue to ask him to do nothing. He's thrown for 150 yards in each of the last 2 games. Don't think, now we can throw for 3 bills, because now's not the game to do that. I do think you can put more on Bryce Young's plate. I just don't think this is the week to do it. I think if you can, maybe it's not the most efficient day for the run game. Maybe Chuba Hubbard goes from averaging 5 yards a carry to 3.8. Hey, 3.8 3 times. We're talking first downs here. You know what I mean?
The Chiefs, by the way, give up third best in the NFL, 3.6 yards per carry.
Just get. I'm asking you to ask less of Bryce Young for 1 week, and then get back to systematically, slowly giving him more and more and more responsibility. Because I am concerned. We've seen his confidence get shot once already. I'm concerned if a really, really bad game happens again, and I just don't want to have to go back to Andy Dalton and play that whole carousel all over again. So I'm concerned about Bryce Young, but more specifically Bryce Young versus that defense.
My biggest concern is that the Carolina Panthers are going to be catching the Kansas City Chiefs after their first loss of the season. Because for the Chiefs, they're going to sit there and reset and refocus and go, all right, guys, we kind of played with our food for a while. It finally caught us. Let's reset and refocus, and let's not go mess around with this Carolina Panthers team. Let's go over there and let's take care of business. That's my biggest concern, because you're going to have I would say a remotivated Chiefs team. Remotivated. Reinvigorated.
Do you think they got bored with winning and now they're like, yes, this is the taste of my own blood. I remember what this is.
It's like, you know what? I don't like this feeling. Let's get back to that winning thing. And then all of a sudden, Travis Kelce's going to have 15 catches for 187 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Or if it's this year, it'll be 15 catches for 75 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Hey, but that's what we're probably going to see. And DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to catch 2 touchdowns as well.
Xavier Worthy will be open downfield and somehow get a foot out of bounds before he catches it. That's kind of what he does.
Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, very similar. He's had a few of those.
Yes. Kind of weird.
George Pickens has had some weird ones like that too.
Yeah.
Where he catches it and for some reason works to get out of bounds. That's my concern. I don't know why we're talking about George Pickens there. Got sidetracked. Let's get to
tonight.
Let's get to confidence. My confidence for the Panthers. It's been often said. It's been replicated quite a bit as our confidence during cons and cons. It's offensive line. There's a saying. It's one of the things that should go in the Drive show dictionary. There's a saying in literature called "kill your darlings," and what that means is, I'll give you the very quick, very basic explanation. Is if you write a book with 10 characters, a novel, and you love all 10 characters, but you realize there's just too much. Right? There's too many storylines, too many people. You need to get it down to 6 main characters. So you cut 4 of them. If those 4 characters you cut are the best, fully fleshed out, awesome, emotional, people cared about them, they were believable, they were well written, and you cut those 4 out, just imagine how good the 6 you kept are. Right? If you're killing your darlings, you got something better than your darlings still in the book. So let me explain how that applies to the Carolina Panthers offensive line. Brady Christensen isn't playing. Brady Christensen is not in the starting lineup. He has proven this year already that he is a good NFL center and that he is a good NFL left tackle, and he can't find his way onto the field. Just imagine how good the offensive linemen that are on the field are playing right now. Cade Mays, just imagine how good he looked on film against Dexter Lawrence, that they looked at Brady Christensen and said, thank you, but you're going to the bench because Cade Mays is out there at center. Ike Ekwonu, same deal. How good must he be to say, he gave up 1 sack last week or 2 weeks ago in London to the best pass rush statistically in the league, and we're going to take that left tackle that played and put him on the bench so Icky can get in. If you're putting Brady Christensen on the bench after how he's played this year, the guys on the field must be pretty darn special.
That leads into my confidence was actually specifically Robert Hunt. You actually go back to that Week 10 game against the New York Giants over there in Munich. Pulling up Pro Football Focus, amongst all guards in the NFL, he was third highest rated amongst all guards in the NFL overall. Run blocking grade, fourth best overall. 0 pressures allowed. And that's playing against Dexter Lawrence, who's one of, if not the best interior defensive linemen this season in the NFL. Now you can bring that over with Chris Jones, who's one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. Now, Chris Jones will line up anywhere on the defensive line. But here's something that Kansas City, as good as their defense is, actually struggles with. It's actually sacking the quarterback. They're 27th in the NFL in sack percentage. And here's the thing. They have plenty of opportunities to sack quarterbacks because they're generally leading and other teams are throwing the football. But they get after the quarterback not quite as good as other teams. Now they're good at shutting down pass in terms of yards allowed per attempt. Their run defense is also great as well. They're 6th best in the NFL in yards per carry. I take that back. 3rd best in the NFL in yards per carry. But they don't get to the quarterback super well. So guess what? Hey, Bryce, you might actually have a little bit of time here, bud.
The Chiefs, you're right, they do win a lot. It's really a one-score game the entire time. They might not put other teams in passing downs as often as you think because, yes, the Chiefs are winning, but if you're winning by 4 and it's the third quarter, you're not like, we got to pass to get back into this. It's more like, no, we can run the ball, we can play at our own tempo. So keep it close. I think that would help quite a bit for your offense, that's like saying putting the ball through the hoop would really help your basketball team.
Hey, good luck there, buddy.
Putting the puck in the net would really be beneficial to your hockey team. Yes.
Speaking of that.
Breaking news. Speaking of that, it's time for our Canes' first goal scorer competition. Right now we are opening up the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. We need 3 official contestants to call in and predict who will score the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight against the Devils, and in what period that goal will be scored. Again, 919-860-5326 to call in with your first goal scorer predictions. If you get both elements of that question correct, the player and the period it will be scored, you're going to win a gift card to the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh. Visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. Again, we need 3 contestants. I believe they're getting on the phone line now. 919-860-5326. You need to come with 2 pieces of information. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period will that goal be scored? If you get both right, you get the prize. Our first contestant for today, our first official contestant for today, is Patrick and Gardner. Patrick, thank you for calling in. Who scores the goal, and in what period?
I'm going to say Aho in the first. I think last night got the first one out, so the rest are going to start coming easier.
They'll broke the seal. Now the floodgates are open.
The first pickle's out of the jar now.
First pickle is out of the jar. I like that. Any other details just for bragging rights? Is power play, slap shot?
Power play, yeah.
It is power play. All right. We'll give you the credit if you get the extra, but all you need to win the prize is Aho in the first. Stay on the line.
All right.
Dennis will get some info from you. Chad in Hillsboro, you are up next for our first goal scorer prediction challenge. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period?
I want to say it's going to be Ghost in the first.
I love it. I said it yesterday. I'm going to repeat it. Shane Gostisbehere started off hot scoring early in the season, and he has been, I'd say outside of Natchez and Aho, Gostisbehere has been our most common first goal scorer prediction. That first impression, reintroducing himself to the Canes, everybody just loves his goal scoring ability. Chad, any more details you want to give us for bragging rights? Is it a power play goal or any other details?
No, I'm just going to say he's going to smack it on a 5-on-5 out there in the point.
5-on-5, love it. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis will grab some info from you. And last but not least, Rocco in Raleigh, you are our third official contestant. Who scores the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes, and in what period?
I'm going to say Svechnikov in the first.
Svech in the first. Any details you want to add to that?
Non-power play.
not on power play. Is that what you said?
Correct.
All right. So more routine 5-on-5, or are you calling a shorty?
Just routine.
Nah, that's fair. I was trying to bait you into that one. See how crazy we could get. Rocco, appreciate you. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis will take your info. Dennis, before you start grabbing everything you need from the contestants, give us your first goal scorer prediction.
You know, a line that starts on the road, that's the Jordan Stahl line. We saw yesterday.
Stahl scored.
Stahl did score. Well, we saw that line was on the ice, and we thought Jordan Martinook may have scored yesterday, but the goal was given to Jalen Chatfield. But that line's going to generate some chances early. William Carrier, first period, in the first minute.
First period, first minute?
Starting it hot.
I mean, that's 2 goals in the first minute in back-to-back games.
Yeah, exactly.
They start – actually, if they keep it up from last night. Last night it did feel like every time they came out of intermission or to start the game, a team was scoring a goal – like as soon as before everybody got loose and warmed up again. It was quick. So maybe that does keep up. You went first goal, first minute. I thought Dennis was going to double up on mine there for a second because he started talking about a specific line. My first goal scorer prediction for today is Jordan Martinook in the first because the hockey gods owe him one. It looked like he scored. Or they said it was Chatfield. Then it looked like Martinook may have tipped it, so they gave it to Martinook. Then they took it away and gave it back to Chatfield. And just the way those things seem to work is, if you miss out on one, it comes back around and you get the other. It's a weird sports thing. I don't think it's superstition. I just think it's a coincidence. But Martinook in the first is the way I'm going with it, just because the hockey gods, they owe him one. And maybe it's like the opposite, right? He is the one taking the shot, and it might reflect off someone else, but no. Or maybe it's the same deal. Someone else takes a shot. It might have deflected off of Martinook, and this time the decision does go his way. I think Martinook gets the goal simply because it's about that time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly with Miller Lending. Here for Miller Lending, the home of the no closing cost loan. I'm not like there's so much about a mortgage that you just don't understand until you try to buy your first house, and then you're sitting there and they're explaining things to you. I didn't know you could buy down your rate. There's, hundreds, thousands of dollars that you can pay to get a lower interest rate on your mortgage, which at the time seems like, of course, get my monthly payment lower. Over 30 years, I'm going to save so much money. And then you recognize, I'm probably not going to stay here for the next 30 years. I'm going to want a bigger house. I'm going to want a smaller house. I'm going to upsize, downsize. I'm going to want to move across town. Maybe my job moves. Maybe I have to go move closer to family. And I bought all this money bought all this rate down because I was going to save so much over 30 years. But the average length of a loan, and has been for decades, is 4 years. So instead of buying that rate down, why not head to Miller Lending, get a no closing cost loan, so each and every time you get a new loan, each and every time you refinance, each and every time you move, you don't have to pay those costs and fees out of pocket. It's the exact opposite. Instead of paying more money at closing, pay no money in closing costs, and prepare yourself to be flexible, adaptable, and move with the punches that will surely be dealt in all of our way when it comes to life. It is all happening at Miller Lending. They prepare you for everything. 919-447-3377 is the number to call. That's 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time to have a conversation about the Canes goalies. But let's be real. It's always time to have a conversation about the Canes goalie situation. Stick around. That's next.
Is your plumbing outdated or just not getting the job done? Call Newcomb & Company to see how we can help get your home operating at peak performance. Our experienced plumbers can repair or replace faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts.
The kick is good!
Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great, it's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go! It's Bo time.
The most incredible sale of the year is on right now at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and designer jewelry. It's our biggest store-wide sale of the year. This weekend only, shop never-before-seen pieces, plus designers' appearances in the store. Save an extra 20% on Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Plus, the biggest selection of the year starting this Friday through Sunday. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
It's been a long time. The official Eras Tour book coming to Target on November 29th, featuring over 500 photographs from the tour, including never-before-seen performance and behind-the-scenes images. And for the first time, the Tortured Poets Department, the Anthology, with 35 tracks on CD and vinyl. Only at Target.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Right now, save 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th, so schedule an in-home estimate at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes goalie situation has taken up so much of my brain space in the last year and a half. So much. What should they do? What could they do? Is this player available? Is that player available? How much would they pay? How much would they trade? All of these debates to have essentially nothing happen. The only thing that has happened in the last season and change when it comes to the Carolina goalies as far as like decisions being made is Ronta was moved on from. That's it.
Yeah, and they got Spencer Martin off waivers late last year. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's not to say that there hasn't been a ton of situations, a ton of moments where I and many others thought they should have done something. It's just that they didn't. Trade deadlines come and go, and ooh, look what's happening here. Maybe there's a goalie available. The Martin Necas trade rumors. How many of those teams that called about Martin Necas did we look immediately at the roster and go, do they have a goalie available? It was so many conversations to be essentially the same place we've been. And you know, I said this earlier today. Getting nostalgic for when I took over this show, when I started hosting here in this market, and I wanted to make sure before I went on air that I wasn't just a casual observer, that I was aware of everyone's feelings towards players and how does the fan base see him and how does the coaching staff see him and everything else. So I asked a whole bunch of people about Frederik Andersen. And there was just one common refrain. There was a chorus that everybody sang, regardless of how the verse went. It was at the end of whatever they said. It was, yeah, if he can stay healthy. He's a 2-time All-Star. This guy's a beast. He's so good, and he did this and he did that. If he can stay healthy. Some would say, oh, he's solid. He's you know what you're going to get out of him when he's on the ice. You know there's somebody you can trust if he can stay healthy. he's a little overpaid, but it's not that bad if he can stay healthy. And it just kept ending with if he can stay healthy. And a year later, 2 years later, guess what we're doing again? No, Kochetkov and Freddie, that's a good pair of goaltenders if he can stay healthy. The question that the Canes have to ask themselves, and the question that we've been asking ourselves for a year and a half at least, is the Canes goalie situation a temporary convenience, or is it something that needs a rebuild? Eric Tulsky, general manager, GM of the Canes, today announced that goaltender Frederik Andersen will have knee surgery tomorrow, that's Friday, and he is expected to be out for 8 to 12 weeks. At what point do we start counting that estimate in months? That is 2 to 3 months. 8 to 12 weeks makes it seem so much less. That's 2 to 3 months, and he's already been out a month.
And to think as well, he's 35 years old. It's a knee injury. He's not a small guy. He's a bigger guy. I'm not saying that he's fat or overweight. He's just a larger guy.
And he's 6'3", 6'4",
and he's built.
Big dude, yeah.
He's a big dude. And you also have to wonder, it's what kind of form is he going to be when he does come back?
Also true. He won't only be 35, is that what you said?
35.
He won't only be a 35-year-old goaltender who hasn't played in a while. He'll be a 35-year-old goaltender who hasn't played in a while and had knee surgery. I understand because it's Freddie, and we should, because they kind of are superheroes, but we make our professional athletes out to be superheroes. Let's just say you are at not even a beer league hockey thing, like an open ice. Right, you're
little stick and puck action.
Yeah, just show up and you're going to be drafting teams, and they're like, "All right, Dennis, you're captain."
Cool.
And you're like, "I don't know these guys." Your buddy knows them. You're a friend, right? Tell me something about him. Okay, that guy, he's from Finland. You're like, all right, that doesn't tell me much. That guy just had knee surgery. That guy played in high school. That guy played in college. Guess who's probably going last? Guess who's the guy? Hey, that guy just had knee surgery. Cool, he's going to the bottom of my draft board. So you expect a dip in play when somebody goes through something like knee surgery. So is it something that needs to be fixed with action? Trade? Is it something that needs to be dealt with as a temporary inconvenience? Another analogy to use is your cold that you're dealing with, something that you're like, man, my nose is going to be stuffy for the next week, but I'm good? Or is it something where you have to go to the doctor? That's a crucial decision, right? And people get it wrong all the time, right? You show up to the doctor, they're like, you're fine, just cough every once in a while, go home. Or you show up to the doctor and they're like, why didn't you come in 3 weeks ago? This is bad. That's where the Canes are. You got to make that decision. Is Spencer Martin good enough as your number 2? Is Kochetkov good enough as your number 1? And are they durable enough to think that they'll make it for the next 2 to 3 months and then maybe more? Are you comfortable waiting for Freddie? When Freddie does return with the injury, do you trust him and Kochetkov to be available and playing well when the chips are down? Because I don't even want to say I'm fine with either option. I get either option. I see the logic in we're just going to survive this. We're going to play it out. Kochetkov's 25 and we trust him, so we have no problem running him out onto the ice often and back-to-backs in specific moments, throwing Spencer Martin out there. So we're going to ride with that. You have no problem? Cool. I get it. I see the logic. You don't want to spend any more money. Freddie Andersen is getting paid a good amount. So if you were to go out there and acquire a high-priced goaltender, it's hard to justify having that much of your cap tied up in goal. So I get it. But what I will not give is sympathy if it happens again. Like last year, your hopes and dreams were put on Freddie Andersen, and he got hurt and missed 2, 3, 4 months in the middle of the season.
Yeah, blood clots, yeah.
This year, your hopes and dreams were put on Freddie Andersen, and he missed 2, 3, 4 months in the middle of the season. The year before was another one where Freddie Andersen was dealing with an injury. I believe there was postseason games missed. There's if you want to take that chance, fine, and I get it. Sometimes you feel like your hands are tied. You don't have a choice. But I'm not feeling bad for you after this. I'm not feeling like it's now expected. John Gibson could be available from the Ducks, right? We're seeing some of those articles out there. A goaltender in his early 30s who's proven he's an NHL goaltender. Is he the best thing walking, best thing skating? No. But he's good, solid, and seems to be more durable and a little bit younger.
Been stuck in a bad situation out there in Anaheim.
Do you make that move? It's a big move. Even if the Ducks retain half, then you're looking at essentially doubling your investment in goalies this year. Could it solve everything? Yes. Could it be the difference? Yes. Could it also hinder your team moving forward? Yes. It's not easy.
Yeah, the math side of things is where things get really, really muddy.
In
terms of salary cap and all that stuff.
You know what I liked about, and this is no disrespect to either of them. You know what I liked about having Don Waddell as the GM? Is I feel like the genesis of his ideas started, obviously much higher level hockey, much more information, like he's more in tune, but started like where I usually have the genesis of my ideas. You look at something like, I think that would be a good fit. We should explore it. Or I'm going to look at it. And Tulsky, I do think a lot of times the genesis of his ideas is in the numbers. Right? You say like, oh, the math, that's crazy. I trust Tulsky so much in the math because he's a chemist with 27 patents. I firmly believe he can make the salary cap work in whatever way he needs to. It's when he gets to the other side that he's impressed me. Since he's taken over, the fits have been really good. So goalie is an interesting deal when you're starting your idea kind of where I think Tulsky starts his idea. Because it is a little bit more independent, right? Goaltender. It's a little bit less dependent on the other players on the ice. It might be, and as I smack the mic, it might be an analytics decision that they lean on, and they can look at it and say, pretty simply, no, Freddie is better because of XYZ, or his likelihood to play is worth taking the risk of his likelihood to not play because X solves for Y. Like, I don't know the numbers, but when it comes down to dollars being invested versus win shares gained, that is something that I trust Eric Tulsky with significantly more than I do. Than I would trust myself. Anybody that listens to the show knows on-air math, not my strong suit. Nobody can lose a decimal as well as I can.
But it's still reality for Carolina. The fact that they're pressed up to the salary cap is where they are right now.
They would have to be creative.
They would have to get really creative. It's like, okay, for example, what if you try and trade Frederik Andersen? Well, he has like I think a 15-team no-trade clause. Because sometimes what you can do is, hey, team B over here, let's say, I don't know, for example, let's the Minnesota Wild.
Sure.
Hey, Minnesota or some random other team out in the Western Conference. If you take on Frederik Andersen's contract, we'll give you guys a third-round pick to take on his contract. Send us back like a future considerations just to take it off our books. You guys can go and eat that salary for the rest of the season. He's a free agent, but you get a third-round pick as a result of it. That way it clears us cap space for us to go make a move for a goaltender that we can feel like we can rely on to be healthy when the postseason actually gets around to back up Kochetkov. Because I always feel as you're only as good, your goaltending situation is only as good as the guy that you have on the bench. That's the way I feel when it comes to goalie situation because you're going to use both.
Okay, so you're okay. I get what you're saying here. Your goalie situation is only as good as your backup because goalies don't play every game.
They don't, and you never know if you got to pull somebody. Guy gets hurt during a game. You got to make a substitution.
So with Freddie hurt, I think most people are okay with Spencer Martin.
Absolutely.
It's you're worried that you're now one more play away from Yaniv Peretz being a guy who at least has to spot start to give Martin or Kochetkov, whichever one is healthy, the night off.
Yeah, that's exactly where you are. You are one bad day away from Yaniv Peretz being in your goal. It's not a knock on Yaniv Peretz. The guy's just, unfortunately, he's not an NHL goaltender. Like, that's the way I view it. But that's the reason why you had Spencer Martin. It's because Freddie's injury history.
I want to make this point,
Yeah.
and what you're saying is all 100% true. There's not a team in the NHL that would not be up a creek without a paddle if you have your number 1 and number 2 goalies go down with an injury. That is, I think it's unreasonable to expect a team to be so deep at goaltender that they're going 4 or 5 like legit NHL. Yeah, I'd give them 15 start goalies. There's just not that many of them walking planet Earth. It's tough. But that's the question that we have now, which is, all right, you're not ready to have 4 goaltenders at the beginning of the year. I'm not faulting you for that. But now that maybe that need is closer, do you make a move now to build yourself that depth that you had no reason to have until now?
That's the way I view it.
If you're a team and you have 4 legit NHL goaltenders, trade one. You have value that you're not going to hopefully use that you can turn into a left winger or something, like turn into a draft pick. If you have, and then, there's teams that need 4. So there you go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have to get to the starting 5. Today is flying by. Maybe it's because we have a bunch of really, really good sporting events tonight, Thursday night, including a Canes game. So we'll break those down all in the starting 5. I'm certain of it.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk. Panthers Playbook. The Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Officially a 36-yarder. Jansen snap. Hecker's hold. Pinero's kick. It is up. And Eddie wins it for the Panthers in OT.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Terms and conditions apply.
Pinch me, because Lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. #AleYeah.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get a head start on Black Friday all month long with exclusive deals. Right now, get 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees just in time for the holidays. And get a free select tool when you buy a select battery or combo kit. So don't wait to save. Shop these deals in-store or online now because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/21 through 11/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. A little cooler this afternoon, colder tonight. We have a freeze warning in effect, 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. Here in the Triangle, around 33, but some of the outlying areas could be in the upper 20s. Tomorrow is partly cloudy, windy, and colder than today, 52.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock, check if your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 461 points today to 43,870. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Another reminder here, in 2 hours, 7 p.m., you can join 99.9 The Fan tonight at the Cary Carolina Ale House with Victoria from the Adam Gold Show. She will be at the Cary Carolina Ale House from 7 to 9 p.m. for a Canes ticket stop. Every 8 minutes, she'll be giving away a pair of tickets to see the Canes host the Islanders on December 17th. So head out to the Cary Carolina Ale House, hang out, enjoy some food, enjoy some drink, watch some games, and potentially win a pair of tickets to see the Islanders visit the Canes. They'll be giving away a pair of tickets every 8 minutes. You must be there to claim your prize, so if you stop in, expect to hang out for a little bit if you want to be in the running for the tickets. That's tonight, 7 o'clock. Now it's time for the starting five. Let's jump into number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Into the flyer zone. Out in front, they'll score! What a play! Oh, to Roslovic. And Roslovic's 10th of the year has Carolina up 4-1.
That play was sweet. Maybe we'll do this next week at some point. Biggest surprise of the Canes' early season. Positive. Only positive surprises. Don't say like, surprise, Freddie's hurt again. Biggest surprise, obviously Natchez going as aggressive and crazy as he has would be one, but I think Roslovic might be a bigger, just pure, where did that come from?
Yeah.
The guy looks like a wildly talented scorer. He had like 6 goals last year.
9. He surpassed that last night.
He had 9 goals last year. Oh, you're right. He had played for 2 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was 6 and 3. But he's kind of an assassin. That was not an easy pass to field, and then to quickly get it up into the net with some impressive skating. That's a good day for Roslovic. It was a good day for the Carolina Hurricanes. I said this earlier. I'll echo it again. And this is a compliment, not an insult. The Canes have been playing so well that they're boring. It's kind of been what we talked about it yesterday in that. Maybe I at times make mountains out of molehills with the things that they are facing, but it's almost because we're going to talk about it. We're a sports talk radio station in the home market of an NHL team. We're going to talk about the game, and it's a really quick conversation to just say they executed pretty much everything. Way to go. So instead, you hype up the things that they're dealing with. Seth Jarvis is hurt. How does that affect the lineups? And then you realize nights like last night, Rod Brindamore is shuffling up the lineups just for funsies, just to see what that's going to be like, right? It's let's put Martinook with the top line. Let's move Svech down to the stall line. Let's see what that looks like. So yeah, maybe when somebody like Jarvis goes out and we're like, oh no, what are they going to do with the lineups? It's like, well, even if he was healthy, sometimes you just you shake him up on nights like last night. So there is an element of they're cruising right now. Let's not go too over the top in any direction, but also you're cruising right now. This is where you do nitpick. Right? Okay, yeah, you're winning a lot. You're scoring goals. You're near the top in a lot of statistical categories. Now's where you strengthen your strengths. Now's where, all right, well, let's polish. Let's put another coat of paint on there. which is why we were tough with Aho. Aho wasn't scoring 5-on-5 goals. Don't you think that a lot of teams would love if, like, the biggest problem is our nearly point per game producer
Right.
isn't scoring enough 5-on-5 goals? Yeah, but it's something, and it's good to see Aho have a little bit of a breakout like he's had the last few games here, and including last night when he got a 5-on-5 goal and ended up being the game winner, his franchise Canes leading 58th game-winning goal to pass Ron Francis. There was a lot to be happy about there. And I'm going to push back on the people that say I'm too negative. Do you know why?
Why?
Because if you thought everything was good, you had no reason to celebrate Aho's goal last night, other than like, oh, great, another goal, and we took the lead. I'm sitting there going, Yahoo, throwing hands in the air, getting excited. Why? Because something that I was concerned about, something that I had pointed out, is getting solved. If you never ask for anything, you never get to receive what you asked for. So what should we ask for tonight? Maybe that's coming up later on in the starting five. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
We watch the games and we see how teams are playing each week. And so we assess their body of work. And so when we see a team, has close wins, struggles, comes back, but they win the game, those are great wins, for that team.
That was Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director, also the spokesperson for the college football playoff, essentially saying, take your logic and facts somewhere else. We watch the games and then draw out of a hat. Not literally, but they watch the games.
Well.
The committee watches the games and then they say which one they like better. Do you know what I really don't like about that? There's no accountability. And what I mean is they could make a decision today that says, scoring 50 is very valuable. Why? Because a team they like scored 50. Next week, all the teams that aren't rising in the rankings as fast as they want, pour it on. They're like, all right, if you want us to score 50, watch what we can do. Call them fake punts in the fourth quarter. Then they score 50, and Ward Manuel can turn around and go, I didn't like the way that looked. No advancement. And there's no accountability. There's no precedent set that then needs to be followed. And Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the ACC, finally spoke to the media and gave a little pushback on behalf of the teams and his conference. How crazy is that? A commissioner standing up for its members. Jim Phillips talked about Miami at 8th being ranked too low.
Very honestly, I was disappointed. I was disappointed that Miami was 8th. I just think they're a top 6 team, and I don't understand how they get leaped by another Power 4 team that played an FCS game last weekend, and Miami was off.
It's the right idea. It's not the right energy. You know what Jim Phillips needs? Jim Phillips. I'm not sure. This idea pops into my head all the time. Does anyone remember the Key and Peele sketch about the anger translator? Now, I don't want to get into politics, but the way the sketch was formulated, it was when Barack Obama was president. Obama would say something, and then the anger translator, I believe his name was Luther, was Keegan-Michael Key, who stood next to him, and he would scream what the president was trying to say. So if the president said, I'm just going to make this up, just so everybody said, today was a lovely day, and I interacted with many passionate constituents from both sides of the aisle. The anger translator would be like, I dealt with those people that always say I'm wrong, and I put them in their place. And that's how it went. Jim Phillips needs that. He needs, I don't love that, another team from another conference could play an FCS opponent, and they would rise in the rankings more than Miami, who's playing a much more difficult schedule. And then they need an anger translator to be behind them like, I don't know why a committee chair from the Big Ten would have 4 of 5 Big Ten schools in the top 5. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do it, right? Jim Phillips, this next comment is about SMU, ACC school, being ranked too low, and also Clemson, an ACC school, being ranked too low.
They were just okay offensively the first 2 games at Nevada, then home against BYU. But they've been letter perfect. And so to be 13th, I just think they're inside the top 12. And finally, Clemson. I think Clemson's a top 15 team. They're one of, I think it's 10 or 11 FBS teams that is undefeated on the road, amongst other things. So at the end of the day, we still have 2 weeks left to play. I made those comments known to the committee members that are watching the ACC. And so, listen, we have to win. And all of this is a moot point about where our ranking is and whether we're in with multiple teams or not.
Anger translator? SMU is better than Notre Dame. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. SMU lost to BYU. Other than that, they're nearly identical. BYU is a top 15 team according to you, College Football Playoff. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. If they're lucky, they're the 7th best team in the MAC. Clemson has dogs. You want to talk about the eye test? Turn on the film, Clemson versus NC State, and tell me Clemson's offense doesn't deserve to be in the college football playoff. Top 15 and the top 7 team in the country. Which orange team from the ACC is going to get the bye? You tell me. Needs an anger translator. What number was that? 2? Let's go ahead and jump to number 3. We'll slowly jump to number 3.
Watson in trouble. There he is. TJ Watt.
I'm not surprised. For those of you that don't know, our producer, Dennis Cox, is a Steelers fan. So with a Thursday night football game featuring the 8-2 Steelers and the 2-8 Browns.
By the way, for those who are asking for my qualifications to be a Steelers fan, mother from Western Pennsylvania, grandfather worked in steel mills in Pittsburgh. You're welcome.
Don't take this as an insult, but you kind of got a Franco Harris thing going on.
Yeah.
The beard is very Franco Harris.
Yeah, thank you.
Franco Harris played, this is just like a friend of a friend of a friend, not actually my story to tell, played for one of the rival high schools that my mom and my aunts and uncles all went to, so they kind of knew didn't know him, but like knew of Franco Harris like throughout. My guess is he was a very good high school running back.
I would assume so.
Steelers, Browns tonight, a.k.a. Russ Wilson versus Jameis Winston. Dennis, as a Steelers fan, excited or concerned that you're getting the unpredictability grab bag of who knows what from Jameis Winston on a Thursday night?
Well, there's that, but my biggest concern is short week coming off after just playing the Ravens, which is always a tough physical game, and that's hard to recover. So that's actually my biggest concern is that.
All right. First in the AFC North, by the way.
That's right.
Here's it's unfair. I'm just going to throw this out there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be the college football playoff committee right now.
Okay, I test it. Let's go.
That's what it means. If I were like ranking the NFL and I was very it was important, I was ranking them for something, 8-2 would be what I look at most. Score differential, that would be what I look at most. Common opponents, I'd be look at most. As a fan, there's something about the Steelers that is holding me back from putting them in the same category as the Chiefs, even the Ravens. Like, for some reason, I've watched the Ravens, I've watched the Steelers, and I walk away going, I think the Ravens are a better team, even though I literally just watched the Steelers beat the Ravens without scoring a touchdown. The Bills just seem like a better team, but the Steelers are 8-2. So I would imagine that's extremely frustrating for the Steelers. I'm not downplaying that at all, but in the same vein as what you heard from Jim Phillips at the end of those comments from the ACC commissioner, I guess all you can do is keep winning. If for some reason my heart of hearts won't let me believe in you at 8-2, maybe at 9-2 after a nationally solo standalone game win on Thursday Night Football, I don't know. There's just something holding me back. There's not much that can hold TJ Watt back, so that should play into it. Do you think, heart of hearts, truth serum, Steelers are a Super Bowl contender?
No, but I think they can get to the AFC Championship game, but I don't think they go any further than that.
All right. And that's coming from a Steelers fan. So,
no, quarterback play is too average.
Dare we ask the question? Who do you want playing quarterback for the Steelers? It's not a simple question.
It's not. It's not.
I will respect both of them. They appear to be dealing with the Justin Fields gets 5 plays a game thing pretty well, which I think is tough for a quarterback to ever be pulled off the field so guys can jump in.
I want Justin Fields in the red zone at quarterback.
Yes.
That's what I
short
want.
yardage, 3rd and 1.
I want him in the red zone as a QB.
I saw that stat. You've probably seen the same stats. Russell's had a really hard time finding the end zone.
7 of 24. Yeah, no wonder you're kicking a bunch of field goals. By the way,
but he also scores a lot of touchdowns from the 40 because he's chucking them 2 miles in the air, and George Pickens is going under.
That's the one thing that he brings. But I need touchdowns in the red zone.
Cleveland's going to be a show. I don't know what to expect from them. I hope it's a big game from Cedric Tillman, fantasy purposes. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Bailey pump fakes once. Now Tuck swerves to the near side. Still can throw. Lobs it. End zone. Touchdown, Joe Lee. It's a 9-yarder as Bailey drifts to the right and throws a dart to Justin Joe Lee.
NC State at Georgia Tech. Tonight, we have Thursday night football in college as well. I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. NC State, be aware. I'm judging you based on how you play tonight. I will change my opinion of you as football players based on how you play tonight. And that's not just if you win the game, that's not the only way you can impress me. I want effort. I want physicality. I want you to show us that this thing is going to be pedal to the floor, flying as fast as you can, all the way up to the last buzzer, the last game, whether you're playing for the big and lofty goals you hoped you'd be playing for or whether you're just playing for pride. That's what I want to see from NC State tonight. And I usually kind of warn against trying to beat someone at their own game. If you're playing against the Steve Nash Suns, I wouldn't suggest you try to outrun them. If you're playing against the Joe Burrow Bengals, I wouldn't suggest you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can throw it 50 times as well. Do what you do best against these teams. Forget that. I want NC State to go out and try to punch Georgia Tech in the mouth, knowing that Georgia Tech is a brawler. Right? I want them to not be stick and move against George Foreman. I want him to meet George Foreman in the middle of the ring and say, we're going to punch each other as hard as we can until one of us isn't standing anymore. And then I want you to make sure you're going to be the last one standing. If that happens, if NC State, which I believe is a more talented team, like just talent, raw roster ability, more talented team than Georgia Tech, if they show up as the more aggressive, more physical team, I think they win the game, and that by this time tomorrow, they are bowl eligible, which would only come with a win. Dave Doran, the head coach, talked about how important it is to become bowl eligible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it matters a lot from a legacy standpoint for the senior class. They don't want to be the ones that didn't get it done here recently. And developmentally, you've heard me talk about how important practices are to young guys and our ability to assess what they need to work on going into the winter program. So they have a window of time to improve before spring ball. It's really telling when you get into these practices what guys are good at, and for us it helps us, kind of shape them. So, hey, here's what we need to see in 7 weeks when we start playing ball again. So, yeah, you would love to have that opportunity, and obviously we got 2 tough matchups here back-to-back, and we need to get at least one of them, and we'd love to finish with 2 wins here in the regular season.
That's all measured. It's all good. I don't disagree with any of it. I also want a little bit more crazy. I also just want a little bit more. I love physical contact, coach. Have you seen The Program, the movie? I'm referencing a ton of programs today. The Program, it's from 1992.
I know of the movie.
It's I think a really good movie, but it's, probably hasn't aged well. I haven't seen it in a while. But there is one point where they're talking to the linebacker, and they're cutting between him with the tutor and the coach. And the tutor for school is going who fought in the French and Indian War? And he's like, the Cowboys and the Steelers. And then they cut to the the meeting room, the coaching meeting room. They're watching film, and they're like, they come out in a 3-by-1 wide to the left. What's your call? And he's like, Razor X Falcon, and I engage with the left defensive end, and then strafe to the wide side of the field to guard the number 3 receiver, sir. It's like, okay, you're a football genius, and maybe haven't paid attention in many other facts of life. And the way it culminates is like, what's your job on this play? And to rush the edge and hit the quarterback so hard his girlfriend cries. And does it make sense? No. Did you believe it when he said it? Yes. Part of me wants NC State to be that guy. Just the Mike Tyson, I'm going to eat your children. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. But when you say it, it's pretty darn intimidating, right? A Ray Lewis pregame speech. Today is only one day, and we only got one day to have a full day. Ray, that doesn't make sense. Nobody tell him that. He's grooving. Or maybe the most famous edition of it from the movie Animal House when John Belushi, right? What was it when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor or whatever it was?
Let him cook.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, he's on a roll. Like I want to see NC State be a little less logical and a little more impassioned tonight. Why did you blitz? I don't know, Coach. I saw red. All right. At least you got there and you took his head off. Kind of looking for that style of play. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one! Canes will keep it in, though. It's Aho. Aho shot! He scores! It leaks through Fedotov. The 6'6" goalie had it, but he couldn't seal it up. And Sebastian Aho, right on cue, has put Carolina in the lead 2-1.
That was from last night's game against Philly for the Canes. They play tonight at New Jersey. We've already done our math equations earlier in the show. We've deemed this an 8 out of 10 on the big game scale. It is a divisional game. It is a good divisional game, meaning you're not playing the bottom of the division. You're playing a team who is within a couple of points of the Canes, who are at the top of the rankings in the Metropolitan. You are playing a team with history, meaning, as recently as last year, 2 of the guys on the Devils were on the Canes. With Pesci and with Nason. Dougie Hamilton's up there. So there's a little bit of history there. There's a little bit of history with the franchises. There's a little bit of competitiveness, being 2 good teams in the same division. It is the second half of a back-to-back, so you might have a little tired legs, which is something you're like the reason why we do the whole big game scale, right? The reason why we occasionally check in on a Canes game and say 1 out of 10, how big is the game, is because if there is a Canes flaw, if there is something over the last 6 years that has left us unsatisfied as a Canes following, it's that they haven't quite played as well as you hoped they would in postseason situations, right? There's really nothing they haven't accomplished at some point in the last 6 seasons in the regular season, right? They've had great players, they've had great teams, they've had success, they've won a bunch of awards, like they've done a lot. They just haven't had the postseason success. And unfortunately for them, you really can't ever get a 1-to-1 simulation of a postseason game. There's nothing you can do in practice that you just crank a radio louder and say, all right, now it's a postseason game. Let's see how you perform. The only way you can even get close to a simulation of a postseason game is with a big regular season game, a high-stakes regular season game against a good team in a playoff environment on the road when your legs are tired, second half of a back-to-back, against a team with history, so emotions will be rising. Like, is it 100% of a postseason game? No, but it's 70% of a postseason game. And you can get a feel for how you perform. So these games I watch with an extra focused eye to see who steps up, who's getting more comfortable, who's a little rattled. If Jackson Blake is out there, the rookie, who's, by the way, time on the ice is rising. Last couple of games, you're looking at 3 out of the last 4. I believe he's 15 or 16 or more minutes. If he's out there with eyes as wide as saucer plates, I'm taking note of that. And going, all right, we gotta work on calming this guy down. We got to work on figuring out what gets the jitters there. Canes tonight is a big game. I'm looking to see who plays well. Sebastian Aho, talking to the media, talked about how important it is and how valuable it is when they can play consistent.
I feel like we've been playing, a pretty similar way for a long time, and not just this season. And I feel like now we have, guys maybe in a bigger roles, and we're kind of taking that step to carry the team. And Nechi, for example, he's been, a really good player for us the whole year. So it's just kind of keep building what we have here, and I do believe that it's we got to be consistent throughout the year.
Yeah, I'd say consistency is important, and the way you prove that is just to keep doing what you're doing, keep playing well. Consistency, and we talked about this with Wake Forest, basketball and football. It's really hard to prove consistency because it's like we've played well for 4 games, yeah, but if you play bad next game, you're not consistent. It's ongoing. It's a rent that is due every day to be consistent. So Canes just have to keep doing what they're doing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, that game will be right here on 99.9 The Fan with I assume we're back to a 7 o'clock puck drop and 6:30
normal.
We'll
say normal.
And 6:30 Stormwatch with Adam Gold. So about an hour away from puck or Stormwatch getting started here on 99.9 The Fan. We also right now need numbers game contestants. Call in now and play the numbers game for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Experience Hendrix at DPAC on April 6th. The number to call, 919-860-5326 if you want to play the numbers game and potentially win yourself the Experience Hendrix tickets. You have to call in right now, 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Duke, UNC, and State men's basketball. It seems like every single day another one of them is playing a top 10 team in the country in their non-conference schedule. That's not by accident. Yes, they'll take their lumps, may even lose a couple games, but they'll be battle-tested, and that is worth its weight in gold when the postseason comes around. It's why they surprise every year.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
North Carolina football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. I'm Victoria Vodnecker with BetMGM, and there is BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, where you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right, bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try the first touchdown score bet today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The most incredible sale of the year is on right now at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and designer jewelry. It's our biggest store-wide sale of the year. This weekend only, shop never-before-seen pieces, plus designers' appearances in the store. Save an extra 20% on Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off this Friday through Sunday for the best selection, quality, and price. Shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3967 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3967.
The Black Friday sales event is happening right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and the savings are huge. Get $13,000 off any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn, or take advantage of 0% for 72 months on a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4XE, Chrysler Pacifica 4XE, Dodge Hornet RT, or a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4XE. Awesome choices and savings, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Hi, this is Mike Maniscalco. Do you want to increase the value of your home and decrease the cost of energy bills? If your home needs new windows, siding, doors, and more, look no further than your locally owned Window World, the Triangle's most trusted and America's largest exterior remodeler. A proud sponsor of the Canes, Window World will get your home looking great on the outside while saving on energy costs inside. Search Window World for a free quote today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Leo in Chapel Hill. We have Justin in Raleigh. They're competing for tickets to see Experience Hendrix at DPAC on April 6th. As always, we have to ask a question to see who goes first. Today, the question will be, as inspired by seeing Experience Hendrix, who is the greatest guitarist of all time? That's the question. Dennis, you're going to be the judge. Leo in Chapel Hill, we'll start with you. Whatever answer you want, this is not just to see who goes first. Who is the greatest guitarist of all time?
Jimi Hendrix.
That's fair. Experience Hendrix, I can see why you'd want the tickets. I probably should have made him not allowed since we're giving away Experience Hendrix tickets, but I didn't make the rules obvious. So, Leo, you have Jimi Hendrix. Justin and Raleigh, we go to you. Inspired by Experience Hendrix, who is the greatest guitarist of all time?
Geez, he took the answer that I was going to use. I'll say Slash.
Slash, again, pretty solid answer. Dennis, which one are you going with?
I got to go with Hendrix on this one, especially when you say, he took my answer. I'm going to go with Hendrix on this one. By the way, the correct answer to that is Jimmy Page.
I'm going to give you everybody out there just a word of advice. Even if whoever goes first takes your answer, don't say, oh, that guy took my answer or they took my answer, because as soon as you say that, like, oh, if you're agreeing with them, then we're definitely going there. It's just a little piece of advice. So Leo gets to go first. Justin, don't worry, not a huge deal. You'll get to go second. Leo, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, the categories for you to choose from are NFL. We have 3 capital letters, so it's players that have 3 capital letters in their name when officially spelled in their first and last name combined. NFL, not a quarterback, but do have at least 1 career pass attempt. NBA, New York Knicks of the last 20 years, or NHL, Hurricanes only.
Let's go New York Knicks.
All right, these are NBA players who played for the New York Knicks within the last 20 years. I will give you the team and the player. I will give you the team, even though we know it in this category, to keep it fair timing-wise with some of the other categories. You have 30 seconds on the clock, 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks.
5.
Incorrect. Julius Randle, New York Knicks.
21.
Incorrect. Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks.
10.
Incorrect. Julius Randle, New York Knicks.
21.
Incorrect. Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks.
Pass.
Marcus Camby, New York Knicks.
11.
Incorrect. Julius Randle, New York Knicks.
24.
Incorrect. Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks. You were close-ish. You guessed 11 for what was it? Camby. 11 was Brunson. So that would have been right. Camby was 23. Julius Randle, number 30. You didn't quite get there on any of them, but you were kind of in the neighborhood. And lucky for you, by way of going first, you do still have a chance because the tie goes to whoever goes first. So if we get double zeros, you are the winner. So go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if it happens for you. That means Justin in Raleigh is up next. Justin, are you there?
Yes.
The categories are NFL. We have 3 capital letters in our names. NFL, not a quarterback, but does have a career pass attempt, or NHL, Hurricanes only?
I will go NFL, not a quarterback, but has a pass attempt.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number within 30 seconds, as quickly as you can. If you get at least one, you will win. You do have one pass if you need it. Even if you get one, keep rolling, okay? Keep going. Why? Because perfect scores are still worth something. Any questions before we get started?
Nope. Ready to roll.
I love it. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Chad Ochocinco, Cincinnati Bengals.
85.
Correct. Derrick Henry, Baltimore Ravens.
22.
Correct. Pat McAfee, Indianapolis Colts.
1.
Correct. Eric Decker, New York Jets.
87.
Correct. Ronnie Brown, Miami Dolphins.
Pass.
Ronnie Brown, Miami Dolphins. Only one left.
80.
Incorrect. Ronnie Brown, Miami Dolphins.
Oh, Ronnie Brown, 23.
There you go. That's a perfect score.
I thought you said Lonnie Brown. It took a sec, but I remembered Ronnie Brown, the Wildcat.
I was like, if you picked this category and got them all except for the guy that was most famous for running the Wildcat, it would have been a strange flex. But that is a perfect score. Congratulations. How about that? I even said beforehand, like, make sure you keep going because perfect scores are still worth something. And then you just went out and did it. So, like I said, congratulations. You not only get the Experience Hendricks tickets, but you get the knowledge and everything that comes with being a perfect score winner.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Your excitement is overwhelming. But stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you to make sure you get your prize and everything that comes along with the perfect score. How about that? That wasn't the easiest category in the world. Eric Decker on the Jets, smooth, quick. Ronnie Brown with the Dolphins. You know what? I was actually thinking this the other day while we did the numbers game. I watch Family Feud is on in our break room all the time, and Steve Harvey's doing it. And if it's Fast Money, if I'm filling up my water or whatever, I'll stay and watch Fast Money. And you watch it and you're like, if he messes up reading the clue or reads it with a different intonation, completely affects the guess. So I really do my best, my absolute best to make sure I read it at the same speed, which is quick for everybody. But occasionally, I guess I misspeak. I stutter just like everybody else. So if I sounded like I said Lonnie Brown, I apologize. I was trying to say Ronnie Brown, and I am glad it did not impact the final score, and they still got the perfect score anyway. I'm always excited by perfect scores. We've had a lot recently. We do Numbers Game Live, this big event once a year where we get everybody that had the perfect score. We might need to move to a bigger venue this year. We've got a lot of perfect scores.
We have.
And by the way, I don't think the numbers have gotten any more gettable. I don't think they're easier. I think our listeners are getting smarter. They're getting better at the game. They're paying attention more. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Just rapidly firing out.
They're just sitting at home playing video games with no announcers on, just trying. Who did I throw that to? That's Anquan Bolden. Who did I throw that to? That's, you're just trying to figure it out.
That's a great way to do it, though. Play video games, you just try and play every team as much as possible just to kind of get familiar with it.
But the hard part is so many of the categories do span generations.
That's true.
Where it's like you're just as likely to get Terry Bradshaw as Ben Roethlisberger, and there's no video game that has both of those guys.
Good point.
Even though they're the same team, same position. It is a Thursday. Normally we do our big Make Our Picks segment at the end of Friday's show. But when you have so many sporting events on a Thursday, so many varied sporting events on a Thursday, you have to find a way to get those picks in also. So we're going to do it today too. Making some picks. Not Make Our Picks. That's Friday. We'll call Thursday Making Some Picks. Coming up next.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
99.9 The Fan, Carolina Ale House, and me, Victoria Vodenecker, want to get you to a Canes game. Join me Thursday night at the Carolina Ale House in Cary from 7 to 9. Show up and sign up for a shot to grab a pair of tickets to the Canes Islanders game. I will guarantee 15 people will be able to take a friend to the game once the night is done. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. You only win when you come hang out with me. Set the reminder, Carolina Ale House in Cary, Thursday night with me and 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One Coat Hide Color Collection.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have some games to make some predictions. Dennis and I will try to show off our prognosticating ability, our prophet ability. But here's the move, okay? Follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe while you're there. We don't ask for much. Matter of fact, the relationship between you and us, it's unbelievably one-sided. We put in so much work every day trying to make your commute better. We put in so much research. We try to find the answers to your questions. When you comment, we take it to heart. Obviously, I'm joking, but not saying we don't take it to heart. I'm saying, like, you don't owe us anything because we work hard at our job. But I am saying, like, if there's one little thing you could do. So subscribing to YouTube it's pretty small, right? We're not asking for the world here. We'd appreciate it. Subscribe while you're there, like some videos, comment on some videos, share some videos with your friends, and you will immediately be the MVP. With that being said, let's go ahead and make some predictions here. I think we should start with the Canes. Canes tonight against the Devils. I'm going to lead this one.
Oh,
you lead them on Friday.
okay.
I'm leading. There's only 3 games.
All right,
to
that's
lead.
fair. All right, I was going to throw some more out there. But all right.
If you have more, we can always do that. But I think we should stretch our legs on these a little bit.
Okay.
Canes tonight, 3-game win streak at New Jersey. There is something to be said for just being a team that is kind of grooving. They have outscored their last 3 opponents 12-2, 4-0, 4-1, 4-1. I would say none of those opponents have been at the level of what the Devils are bringing to the table, at least not the way they've been playing this year. On the road, second half of a back-to-back. You can lead this one off, Dennis. Give us how you see this one playing out. Carolina is favored, by the way, by just kind of standard spread, 1.5 minus 110 on the money line.
I think this one's actually going to be a little bit more high scoring because it is the second day of a back-to-back, and the style of play that the Carolina Hurricanes play is a little bit taxing. But we know Carolina, their conditioning level is as good as, if not as great as anyone's in the entire NHL. I think this is a little bit more high scoring. I think this is more of a 4-3 style of game. I think this is one where Carolina takes a 2-1 lead. New Jersey claws back, scores a couple. Carolina then gets a couple back themselves, goes up 4-2. New Jersey gets one in the final 2 minutes of the game to try and make it interesting. Like, hey, goalie's pulled. Now we're within 1. But I think it ends up being 4-3 Carolina in this one.
Spencer Martin is in goal.
He is.
He's started the season as the 3rd goaltender for the Canes with Frederik Andersen. For those of you just tuning in, earlier today the Canes did make it official. GM Eric Tulsky announced that Frederik Andersen, the opening day starter in goal for the Canes, who has been out now for a handful of weeks, he is having surgery on his knee. Tomorrow he is out for an additional, from this point, another 8 to 12 weeks. It is not a full-scale rebuild of the knee. It's more of, I guess, a cleanup procedure, which will be 2 to 3 months of additional time out of the lineup for Frederik Andersen, which means we're going to have to get used to seeing Spencer Martin in goal. Obviously, Kochetkov, when healthy, if he remains healthy, will be the guy out most of the time on the ice for the Canes when he has proper rest and when they can make sure he's out there and effective. But we're going to see Spencer Martin. How much does that impact the way you think a game goes? We've seen it. This is Martin's 2 games. He's started 2 games this year for them. Mm-hmm. One, he gave up 6 goals, including 5 in a period. Or he didn't give up 6. He gave up I think it was 5 in one period.
5,
and then there was an empty netter later, so that obviously isn't him. And then he had a shutout in the next one. 5 goals in a period or a shutout, that's what you're going to get. Like, that is ends of the spectrum, which is probably to be expected for a 3rd goalie, right? When he's on his A game and he's the defenders are helping him in front of him, he's every bit as capable to get a win. But it's, the veterans, the studs are the ones that can take their C-plus game and still walk away only giving up 2 or 3 goals. When he brings his C-plus game, look at the forwards and say, go score goals. You're going to have to keep up here. He
was awesome, by the way, on Saturday against Ottawa.
Oh, yeah.
He was phenomenal. That 4-0 score, that game was a lot closer than 4-0 because a lot of it had to do with Spencer Martin and the way he played. So it's like, okay, how do you follow it up? How do you back it up? And I think talking to the guys in the locker room, those guys all have full confidence in Spencer. Like, yeah, this guy's played for us a bunch, and we don't change anything that we do with him back there. The only thing that's might be a little different is just how Kochetkov just handles the puck in terms of his passing. Like, Kochetkov's not afraid to send a puck up to the red line, on a pass, like a stretch play, whatever it is. So that's the only thing you really have to adjust to, but otherwise the guys really don't play anything different in front of him, which is nice to see. But I think 4-3 is tonight.
I think Canes win. I think it gets crazy. It's something like 5-3.
Okay.
It's big swings. Both teams scored 2 or 3 goals unanswered, and it gets a little crazy.
Don't be shocked if there's a 4-on-4 goal tonight. Don't be shocked if we get like you say,
emotions will be high. Things can happen.
Let's get weird. It's a
big game. We've talked about it a lot today.
3-on-4 short heat. Why not?
Let's go NC State at Georgia Tech. This is ACC football on a Thursday. I'll start with this one. I do not think it's high scoring. I hope State shows up and plays angry and, if they go low, we go lower style. Like if they come out physical, we come out more physical, as their mantra. But based on what we saw from the Duke game, I think Georgia Tech is built similarly in a lot of ways to Duke. I think Georgia Tech wins. Georgia Tech's favored by 8.5. I wouldn't be surprised if State covers something along the lines of 21-17, maybe 24-21. You lose by a field goal. It's close, but Georgia Tech. I'm going to be more specific because we love specific predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia Tech has the ball up 3 with like 7 minutes left, and State's like, all right, we just need to get a stop, and then they end that drive like 40 yards later, 7 minutes later, with the ball in their hands, and State never got a chance to try to come back.
I think in 27-17, Georgia Tech wins this one.
And covers.
Yep. I think it's 27-17 because I think that Georgia Tech, what they do best, running the football, is going right after one of the weaknesses, I think, of NC State. I know sometimes in recent games, okay, the run defense may have looked a little bit better, but overall I don't think it's that great. I think it was against lesser competition. I think Georgia Tech, we know what they are. They know what they are.
More importantly, they know who they are.
They know exactly what they are. Where I think NC State is still trying to figure it out. I know he had a few extra days to prepare for this one, but so did Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech 27-17, and they're just going to grind you.
And they know that I like that. They know who they are. And State wants to know who they are, but there's been like 10 different iterations of them, and they've only played, less games than that. Yeah. They're sitting at 5-5. So, yeah, a different iteration every game. Finally, Thursday Night Football. It's your Steelers against the Cleveland Browns, quarterbacked by famous Jameis Winston. Give us your prediction.
3.5-point favorites the Steelers are on this one on the road in Cleveland. I think the Steelers win this one. It's going to be kind of ugly, like a 23-16 type of game. Do not be shocked if we get a Dante Jackson pick 6.
Just to make Panther fans feel bummed out?
It was funny seeing Dante Jackson guard Deontay Johnson this past Sunday.
Dante Jackson talked a little trash on the Panthers. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, it's understandably so.
They asked him if this was a trap game for the Steelers, and he said, I've played a lot of football in Carolina. I don't know what a trap game is. Which isn't fully wrong, but also there were games where Dante Jackson was the reason why the defense was struggling.
It's like you were the trap game.
Yeah, it's like, were you not a part of it? But anyway, I digress. I think the Steelers win. I think we get the full Jameis experience.
Oh, yeah.
I think you get 67 plays of good Jameis and 3 plays where they play the Benny Hill music. And he's running around, flinging it left-handed and backwards. I think you get both, but I think the Steelers win probably by a score or 2. Before we move on to overdrive.
Give me an exact score. I said 23-16.
More than that. 28-20.
Okay.
It's a weird score.
It is a weird score.
But that's what I'm going with. 28-20. What do you got for us, Dennis?
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Homeowners, listen up. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. I'm talking no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client recently got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. We do have Overdrive coming up next for a half hour, and then Adam Gold will take over with Stormwatch for a half hour, and then Puck Drop with the Carolina Hurricanes will take over for as long as they need to crown a winner up there in Jersey, or a tie.
Who was your first goal scorer prediction again?
My first goal scorer was Martinook because the hockey gods owe him one after yesterday.
Okay.
They gave it to him. They took it away and gave it to Chatfield, which I'm happy for Chatfield.
I had William Carrier in the very first minute of the game.
And the callers today went with Aho in the first. That was Patrick's pick. Chad went with Ghost in the first. And Rocco went with Svetch in the first.
Matt in our YouTube live chat said Burnsy, first period.
Last one. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been since last season, literally.
That'd be nice. I'm happy. I'd be happy for Burnsy.
I'd be happy if Burns scored as well.
I assume he's not panicking because he's Burnsy, but I'd like for him to find one. That's about going to do it for us here on The Drive. As I said, as I asked earlier, please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Please tell your friends about us, YouTube or otherwise, and please be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock where we do it all over again following the Adam Gold Show. Until then, have a wonderful night, everybody. Enjoy all the action tonight.
We're kicking it this fall with college